Okay, so
you made the mistake of
if I remember last time,
yes,
and I don't,
look at my notes.
We're out in the middle of the mountains outside Lisso.
No, we dragged our
We
asses
did that
back
already.
Oh, did we bring the obelisk?
Well, we closed post-battle, so now's a good time to talk about...
Oh, because we didn't. So, like, my dress is inert.
Yep. The dress died.
I guess we went back to check on the town. So that's what happened, okay.
All right, because something did...
Junior has the signet ring from the Inquisitor we murdered.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So the town's safe because,
because we toppled the obelisk.
Yeah, we won the war.
Oh, we won the battle.
You
Yeah,
broke
sorry,
it with the foot.
Yeah, we won the battle. We lost a lot of people. We did start heading back because I told specifically Veronica to stay back with the wounded.
Yep.
I have written that down.
And then we got back and found out that there was a siege that happened in town that, again, we won, but you're fine, but lost a good chunk of bodies.
Yep. The wounded include Isak, who got shot in the face.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, he has a cool scar now.
Yeah, he's got cool scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of...
If only that boy knew
It
when he
says
first
lost
met us.
his eye on here.
Now we healed it back.
He did? Oh,
I think so.
because it says Isaac lost his eye. Apparently he was hit by a bullet.
I couldn't regrow his eye, but I could heal him.
Yeah.
And now he'll have a hot scar and an eye patch.
Oh shit!
And him and,
he's got an eye patch now.
Him and like cauterize this fucking face.
Yeah, because it was the same thing with Ladreville. Like, I couldn't regrow his limbs, but I could heal what he had left.
Yeah.
Which is why he also was missing an eye and a hand.
He owes us so much now.
Yeah.
He's a war hero. He's got a cool stuff. He's got a cool scar and an eye patch.
I can regrow my own limbs.
He can have any lady he wants now.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman of nobility.
If his lady in San Felipe rejects him, he's got someone waiting on the sidelines to add him to her coterie of
bread,
platonic.
Mm-hmm.
Platonic dudes in every port.
Yep.
You should eat something besides bread. But if you don't, I won't say anything. You want butter?
Whoa. No, thank you. Oh, shit. No, I literally just woke up.
Okay.
That was a lot. Okay.
Sorry, we're very activated right now.
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so,
Oh yeah, anything else? You want to take the obelisk with you?
I was just curious what we were going to do with it. Like,
I mean, I
it
want
doesn't help
completely
anyone in
destroy
the group but me.
Right. It's disconnected at this point from its base, which means it's inert. It doesn't mean it's permanently broken.
Right. We could
necessarily.
which I don't want to happen.
No, I don't want. I don't want it to happen to anyone else in this group.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who can operate without it, or
Yeah.
rather, I'm the one who's optimal with it active.
Yes. I'd like to see it destroyed, but that's just me.
You may have to take it with you. It's an old piece of
Siren.
It's Cerneth in origin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which is basically it's the people before, more or less.
Yeah, it doesn't say that anybody claimed it yet in here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm happy to bring it with us.
That's why I'm like you can ensure the pieces are shipped separately and stay disconnected and figure out a way to lug that with you. You have plenty of real estate to store that.
I mean, I'm strong enough to just pull it with me.
It's true.
We should.
Now that I have
You
all my
can throw
strength
it
back.
over your shoulder, like in the opening scene of Commando with Schwarzenegger.
I was like, I have all my
that
strength
tree.
back, so it's easy enough for me to just carry it home.
We should sell it to our boss and effectively become.
Oh yeah,
equals.
Madam Salvador would love that shit.
Yeah, because basically that's a priceless artifact that she can find a buyer.
Yeah.
Who will not put it together.
Good thought, and 100%.
Yeah.
A strategy that Rethold would think.
And who will likely 100%. Whoever buys it will be able to keep it in their charge and not have it be reclaimed by someone.
Yes, this is an idea that your aunt would also approve of.
Yeah.
Conquest through business.
Yeah. and then she pays us for it insofar as she can pay us for it, and that helps elevate us even further, making us indisposable to her.
That makes it.
Haven't thought about her in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know.
I'm already
You haven't been around in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll go back, I'm sure.
So wait, oh, never mind.
Or, counterpoint, we could mount it on a ship.
Yeah, I was mostly just gonna go into
and use it as a spell breaker boat
in Lisso.
But then I would have to stay at the back of the boat.
Well, no. As part of a squadron.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's gonna.
And then it neutralizes.
You could leave what's her name?
Whoever on the thing.
Oh yes, Aurelia.
Whoever that's neutralized,
can
disengage.
be your representative.
Yeah.
It was a
in
thought.
Lisso. She knows this
Because I was like, ooh, we can weaponize the weapon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of useless to the group as a whole.
Jimena is currently passed out.
Right.
Hell yeah. Deservedly so.
Jimena, you have very vivid dreams.
Do we go see?
Yeah, as you get back into town.
God damn it! What is his?
What does he do?
Carlico?
Yeah.
The governor?
Yes,
Perez?
Carlos.
Yeah, when you reach back into town, it is pretty clear that there were also engagements in the city.
Yeah.
Not quite as massive, but the service to Madre Paloma was attacked.
That's right.
And but was repelled by the people you had left behind.
Right.
With the assistance of Landreville, Governor Perez, and a surprise appearance by Juan Don Francisco.
Crazy fuck.
Which helped repel the invasion. It was a legit attempt on Perez's life during that, but that was thwarted as well. You left the right forces behind to deal with it.
Hell yeah.
There were losses. A chunk of Governor Perez's troops, unfortunately, laid their lives down, and quite a few of the city militia, those folks that were armed and lay down their lives to protect their city. But at the time, the Inquisition no longer has a grip on Lisso, and the city is safe, at least for now. The dourness of the funeral and then the attack has sort of gave way at this point to a certain sense of euphoria, probably post-battle, where Governor Perez is being lauded as a defender of Lisso, and people are seeing him in an all-new light.
Beautiful. This is what we wanted. Yeah. Check. Take it off the blackboard.
Yep. A few known members of the Winter Sun, who had since stopped displaying their uniforms or allegiances. A few have been captured and publicly executed. A few of them were found murdered by random vigilantes throughout the city. As you make your way through the town, before you see this, you've even observed a few, I guess the best way to describe it would be graffiti all throughout the city, saying, sometimes with colorful language, that the Winter Sun or the church goons are no longer welcome here.
You like it.
As you make your way back, you find a very tired-looking Carlos. A tired but still in operational mode Landreville, and just people buzzing about trying to figure out relief efforts, keeping peace within the city. You get a debrief from Landreville that says, well, the not quite unforeseen, but less fortunate part of having liberated the town is that it's in a bit of a lawless state right now. The people have been oppressed for some time, and the pent-up anger has to go somewhere. So it will calm down. We just have to weather this little storm for the time being.
Virginia is going to hand Carlos the seal. I had to pry it out of his dead fingers, but that felt nice. It was very satisfying.
I'm sure it has.
They crumbled away.
Also in the room is a very dirty, blood-speckled and mud-covered Inquisitor Mazadi.
Nice.
With Elohim, who's about in the same state, just basically giving a debrief, and yet he's surrounded by church officials who look very pristine, right? Like they're just wearing like all the robes, and he's just
That's why he's my
tracking
favorite.
mud and shit all over the carpet. But yeah, he seems already to be giving marching orders to the clergy in support of Cardinal Fatima. And you get a pause and a salute as you enter into the room. You get a nod from Elohim.
Yes, my friend.
After
yes.
this quick chat, you see them sort of get to the side to the group of covered bodies that are laid out into the church courtyard.
Wait, we met them in the church.
Yeah, because that's where the assassination attempt happens. Everybody's still here.
I see. Sorry,
We got here
actually,
within
that's
hours
right.
of it happening.
Yep.
Cool.
This has become sort of the de facto operational center as people are trying to reorganize, trying to flush any potential remaining conspirators within the city, but the day is won. Evine, roll me a wits and notice for you specifically.
Okay.
Well, she rolls her 800 die and counts them. Someone smarter than Rethold
I had messages.
probably puts forth the idea that we should channel the energy of the unruly populace to start fortifying.
Yeah.
To start disseminating that idea that if it's happening in here, to get word out that some sort of attack happened in the hills, and only by the grace of Carlos's association with certain mercenary elements was that able to be repelled.
Yep.
And that further action in Odeseo is bound to happen, and what's the region called?
Ducato.
The Ducato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Grand Avocado.
Yeah. the Capitola of the Grand Avocado is a prime target.
Yep.
Especially since the what's her name Grand Matron was murdered.
Yeah. By those bastards.
By those bastards. So to help sort of tamp down the wanton anarchy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, I want to look around for a little blonde-headed child, or red-headed child, either or. I'm looking for white as the day is long. I need a Vestin child.
I need a Vestin child.
That's right.
Yeah, you can find a Vestin child.
I look over and invest. I'm like, hey, Gil.
Yes.
Great. I need to hire some strong individuals to go meet with the mercs out on the mountain to lug a very big piece of masonry, put it on a boat, and send it to this address with this note.
You're speaking to a red-headed girl about 16 years old. Her hair is in a complex array of braids, and she immediately takes notes and said, whose name should I put on the order?
And I go, Mendez y Mendez.
She puts the quill away and is like,
and I kind of
we've heard you.
And I kind of squint as I realize she's like a 16-year-old woman and not some 12-year-old boy with dirt on his face. So instead of like the typical like couple silver, I'm like, here's 5 gold. Like, here's a 20.
Here's an actual tip.
Yeah, here's actual money to make sure this happens.
Yeah, no, at the mention of Mendez y Mendez, there's a clear recognition.
Yeah.
She,
like, I don't need to pull the R word at this moment. These are all professional transactions. And this has to do with battlefield salvage.
You're not gonna invoke your lineage here.
Yeah, no, we're but yeah, and then I basically slap out 3 sealed notes and just borrow the stationery from Carlos real quick. One for the crows to let them know that's legit, that we're going to be taking that over. If they have any questions about it or want it, to write back immediately, and we can work that out. But I figure they're good.
Most of you here witness Rethel go back into business mode.
Anyone who understands all
just
of it
writing documents.
is Genia, and I'm not sure she would be that interested in the details.
No, but I imagine you understand what's happening as opposed to what's being said.
Yeah.
As a fellow business person.
I mean, if you ask me, I can tell you what he's saying, but otherwise, I don't pay too much attention to what Rethel's doing. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I just don't have any interest in old sort of...
It seems a lot like lying, even if it's not exactly lying.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like everything he says is very backhanded.
He's
talking about money again.
I don't think you have interest in the artifact, but the feeling that it evoked in you is still very present. It basically cut you off from fate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it locked out everyone's magic.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so you couldn't fate, I couldn't barbarian.
I couldn't fire.
I couldn't barbarian, I couldn't druid, I couldn't warlock, I couldn't do anything.
I mean, so I definitely don't want anything to do with that.
That's why we lost so many, because our force multiplier just got nuked.
Yeah.
It's just, even if the details are not interesting to you, the necessity of these actions makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm reminded about how I wanted to train more weaponry.
Yeah, because you
Me
did
and Magnus outside.
You did the athletics route on this. Like, you did the fucking triathlon, like riding, jumping over shit.
Yeah.
I have one more, but I want to hear what Evine got.
11. Even.
11.
Only 11. Evelyn.
You don't feel any sense of threat, but something has followed you.
Okay.
You specifically. It doesn't make the hairs on your neck raise, so you're not exactly sure it's something that wants to harm you, but definitely something has tailed you.
Say shit.
And with 11, it's a cat.
Is it my cat?
There's a cat that's interested in you.
Oh, I don't think it's
Little
your
black cat.
Okay.
We know we know what's happening with your cat.
I've got a little bristly ginger cat.
Yeah, isn't that the dumb old boy? Yeah.
It never really fully approaches, and in true cat fashion, like, if you ever like look over your shoulder, even if you're making an effort to not purposefully look at it, like it looks busy doing something else.
Just licking his butthole.
As one does.
Yeah, just being a cat.
Little hand, feet in the air. And just so unless you've got oh goodness. Oh. And so unless you've got a thought you want to share about that, I look up
for some treats.
I look around because I don't know if you're visible or not. I'm like, Evie. I go, oh, you were right there. Okay.
I think Evine's just not visible until.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. Marcus in our last game.
Yep.
She was just like, I want to play that character.
You have
Yeah.
that same arcane
okay?
fate.
Oh,
Jesus.
Jesus.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I almost killed myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
That
You're,
wasn't
Yeah.
the intent.
you're upsetting the dog.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't really die.
Oh, it's Amazon.
You can't die. I don't want to have to play a musketeer in your honor. Okay. Jen, you won't like it.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Evine, I'm like, so these Southerners, they really like their good time religion, and we kind of made them mad at them. So I think that maybe we might want to help differentiate the like factions. So I think maybe spreading some word around that the dull prophet sword, the dull sword, so to speak, were the idiots who were oppressing the town and murdered what's her name, the matron.
Madre Paloma.
Oh, it was Paloma. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get that going, that will give them something to focus on that will actually be accurate as to what's happening inside the church.
What about other rumor mongers? Because I'm home.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Fire up them presses. Let's
Yeah,
go.
if you brought Aurelia with you, she'll 100%.
Did you
Aurelia
come out
still
with
with
us?
me.
Or did we leave her behind?
Well, she accompanies
No, she
you.
came with.
Well, tight. So someone more clever than Rethel mentions this to the effect. And we're like, yo, go start blogging. Hit the tweeter. Let's go.
Hit the tweeter.
That's right.
You all have gotten used to Rethel's ghostwriter at this point,
Yeah.
Yep.
who always accompanies and suggests things.
Who maybe one day will be an Ison that joins the party. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
What is it, girl?
I'm trying to figure it
Timmy
out.
in the well?
Ah, fuck you.
Aw.
I was trying to see what was going on outside because Fael's still like flipping out the door. So it's turned to the
Do we
blinds.
know you're still passed out?
Do we want to go
Yeah.
check it out?
No, she's in like the
I'm right.
triage tent. Just
Yep. Just out.
Out.
We brought you
Yeah.
back. We brought you. Or well, how banged up were you? Or is it just exhaustion?
I used my biggest fuck off
Oh, that's
power.
right. You
She
were-
called the Red
She's
Bull.
physically and mentally spent.
All right. You keep waving a loaf of bread under her nose. It still hasn't roused her.
Right.
Oh no, it's a bad way.
You have very vivid dreams, Jimena, and the waft of the smell of bread accompanies some scenes sometimes very inappropriately, but
It's
it
a
just
comfort.
happens.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah, so a lot of these pieces get put into motion. Mazabi does take a minute at some point and approaches the group. He's using a towel to wipe a bunch of grime off his face and neck. And he says, hate to impose on you after such a busy day, but if you're not planning to leave the town right this minute, Her Eminence, Cardinal Fatima, has called for an audience in the morrow.
Oh, and a little breakfast party. Hell yeah, let's do that.
Shania's like,
Let's go.
what is cardinals?
I said, what about breakfast at Cardinal?
Can you fit
Yep.
this one on,
No.
buddy?
Hell yeah, rabbit.
Yeah, well, most of us will eventually leave to go shore up the war effort elsewhere, and it might not be a bad idea to leave a good front behind.
Does the
And after today's display,
Like behind, like where just subtly I look over to Jen and I'm like,
after today's display, I do believe Her Eminence will be pretty keen to help.
wherever the like general rank would be on a certain uniform, I'm like, just sort of like.
I'm going to shave you in your sleep.
Make good rope.
It grows back.
3 times as thick,
Length.
3 times as long.
Every time she makes a pass.
Why do you think Magnus is so ugly?
Kind of like, no, I think if the two of you.
You'll shave Magnus and realize he's actually 15 years old.
Yeah,
Yikes.
that's fair. That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
But
As
yeah.
soon as Evine is able, she's not going to break the cat code by trying to call to it or anything. She's just
Yeah, you
gonna,
gotta show yourself to be extremely not interested.
yeah, just not interested, but will happen to put a small saucer of cream in the shade and some
No, just put this here.
leftover nibblings.
Aw.
Oh,
It's
as
actually
we
really bad for cats.
as we had
Yeah.
well, this ain't no real cat, so fuck him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is when we get back to the house, or
Yeah, business is about to conclude, so if you want to set it up there
Wherever
or
she
wait.
finds nibblings.
Oh, what was that?
Wherever she finds nibblings, she'll set them
So
up.
wherever she
Oh,
finds
yeah.
nibblings. Doesn't
You,
have to be
you
that
definitely
way.
have some at the house, so
Yep.
as things continue to wrap up, you don't get dismissed so much as like a lot of it is like, yeah, we're gonna be working through this for a while. Please go have some proper rest. Like just a look at you all is clear enough to tell the story.
I've only got 4 dramatic.
I'm
moves.
feeling great. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, same.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
take a nap,
Yeah, I have.
get some coffee.
I have 4 of
Ew.
7.
Look at these fuddy duddies and dresses. They all look great. Have them
No,
do some work.
believe me, there'll be plenty of delegation. They're
Okay.
they're gonna get some work in.
I'm blatantly pointing at the
Clergy.
at the clergy.
Yep.
Like they look
Mazabi.
like they're good with books.
Mazabi is like, yeah, it'll be good for them. So yeah, you do manage to get back to the comfort of your home, and if you find a little secluded spot, Evine out in the garden in the shade, eventually, little black cat starts to trots about and sniffs a little bit at the cream and nibblies, and then
Don't we have someone buried back there?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Several
yeah.
people.
Well, there's at least 3 people in the backyard, and there's 1 person scattered
Many people
on the lawn in the front yard.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're buried so much as incorporated.
some of them have
Yeah.
been sucked into the.
Just yeah.
I don't know how fast that process accelerates due to its nature.
Yep. No, there's definite skeletons in here. Yeah, it's a little mid-sized cat. Black. You notice the little white spot it has like on its chest area, and it starts like lapping and then starts purring as it eats and drinks.
Must approach cat nonchalantly.
I just imagine you with like your hands behind your back, whistling, kind of turning around on your heel, and then crouch. Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you, cat.
I'm just frustrated that none of us see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems to happen in a secluded corner. Maybe that's what the cat wanted. And after a little bit, just enough time to let you know that it is the cat's decision and not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It approaches you and starts to rub on your boots, and then just sits right next to your spot and starts looking around in the backyard.
Alright.
The moment is pleasant enough that you get pretty startled when you hear a voice that sounds very low, very gruff, as if it had been carved through heavy drinking and smoking.
Love it.
Very rich baritone that says, "Good day to you, Bard."
Oh, jeez. I hope so.
You get the cutest little, like,
Really?
meow.
Like you didn't expect that.
I did, but not that voice.
You get the cutest meow at your surprise as the cat looks up. Yep.
Greetings.
And greetings to you. You're a hard person to find.
Good.
I try to be.
So I hear. And
Oh, I'm just kidding.
the cat sort of like lazily like starts walking about the deck and stretches its little toes into the grass as it steps on there and says, "War is coming." And it has reached Bryn Brisale enough for me to come about and see what you've set in motion.
How much have you observed so far?
Enough to know that this is going to be the place for me to be in the coming months. I was away for some time. I left Bryn Brisale when your bloodline was but a thought. But I came back because I heard of the bard who, no matter how large her actions, their legends seem to fade into obscurity. It reminded me of an old friend.
Vita's like very still at this point. It's like, oh shit.
The cat is just
This
not.
isn't just any talking cat.
Yeah.
The cat is just not looking at you at this point, just like lazily, like playing in the grass and sort of looking about.
Just being a cat.
I be what I be. No cat out of his first fur ever gave anyone a straight answer.
The woman who holds the Graal will support you. She's already mustering troops as we speak. The Armada will be with you when the time comes. This is not, however, a thought that pleases everyone. Perhaps when the battles are won, you will have some cleanup work to do. The She Court is not entirely convinced that this is a cause worth supporting. Of course, they don't all see what I do. And the cat sort of turns to you at that moment and sort of sits right in front of you, like just looking up at you. I am here to be your ally, if you so choose it. Of course, there is a price to asking for my aid.
Oh,
Surely no.
It's sort of like...
so what is the price?
your soul.
Your anonymity.
It'd
Be lucky for your soul.
Scritches all day.
And demand the scritches.
It looks at you and like that like serious, cat expression and says, "This is a time of revolution. Many here will die. All I ask is that you point to me which of the fallen are sinners and unworthy, and I will claim their souls."
Well, that's easy enough.
I could do that.
You hear a contented little meow. And the cat is like, "This is a moment for history. I haven't forged such a contract in such a long time."
Oh no, you're in trouble.
Then
Oh no.
we are agreed.
Too late.
Oh, rabbit.
You have earned this extra clause in the contract. I will not take everyone who falls in this conflict. Only those you deem worthy of having their souls stolen from Theus.
He's gonna sit on her chest.
She sits up a bit straighter, like, oh, a lot of decision.
He's gonna make biscuits.
I am patient. And it just starts to stretch a little bit and starts to scamper about in the grass. I will find you when the time comes, but if you have
The
need of
cat
me before
eats
then,
grass.
please, you only need to call for me.
Say my
What
name
do I
and I'll
call
be there.
It actually stops and then turns around to look at you and says, "You know my name."
Figures.
The specifics, of course, I will keep to myself. We all know the powers of name. Your people know me as Catchy.
Oh. Literally fairy cat. Lame.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, don't thank me yet. We'll see who has the winning part of this bargain yet.
I'm sure everything's fine.
I watch you with much interest, Bard, just like your predecessor. And with that, the cat just scampers off, jumps the hedge, and is gone.
Zine don't take kindly to being watched. Like, she's avoided all of the gaze except for the most intense of gaze.
That's right.
Fun times.
There's you've avoided notice, but there's somebody who sees you very clearly. All right. So all of you are back to the house. Ricardo is already busy trying to prepare some food for everybody out of respect.
I was like, he's getting busy being told to go the fuck to bed.
Wow, no. That will not happen until drinks are served and people have had some food.
Did someone carry Jimena back?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You have been.
Oh, that's kind of where I was getting to. Like, we'll find a way to
You have
bring
been
you back.
placed almost reverently in your usual spot by the hearth, because that is your real room.
No.
And we put one of the recoveries on bread duty.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, every half hour.
She like
Just
you
just
she's
waft
just like
it under her head.
She was just like snuggled
Just give her a loaf.
with a loaf of bread, like it's a stuffed animal.
Yep.
Right.
On the
100%.
hearth.
It's just like
When it becomes too squished, put a
my
new one
safety
in.
bread.
That's right.
Every once in a while, she mumbles something weird in Castilian.
And
Like,
you,
I don't want to go to Grandma's
you
house.
let us know the moment she starts eating it.
Ricardo and Jenny are like, what is she talking about?
Right. I want to go to Grandma's house.
Like, no.
That was boring. I already have to go to mass.
Well, it smells funny.
Yeah, she does.
because you're having.
It
Wanders
makes me
in very
mushroom.
visibly and sits at the table. And
Yeah,
everyone
Evine makes
sees her.
noise
Yeah.
as they step into the room.
The room goes silent.
You hear the
Yeah.
door creak.
except for him and his random ass exclamation,
Right.
Zhenya stops giving Ricardo a stern look and
which
looks
hangs
over
in the
like,
room. Yeah.
what?
Like, Ricardo like
Chairs
almost has a
scrapes
reflex.
against the
Yeah.
floor.
Ricardo's on the other side of the counter, and he has a reflex to reach out, like for his dagger,
Yeah,
because he's
right,
like
yeah,
something
yeah.
is impersonating
Evine?
Evine, and like not very well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No. The Domovoy would not let anything into the house.
Oh yeah, that's right. I apologize. I didn't think of that.
Sit down.
Okay.
Sit your ass down.
He brings like bread and a knife with him, like as he sits, and he's like slicing bread while he's sitting down.
That's fine.
You know, I've stopped carving, and I'm waiting for the bombshell Levine's about to drop on us, because there's no other reason.
She's staring into space for a bit.
Did you lose a bet?
We're going to die.
Not today.
Maybe we already did.
I think you just made a deal with a catch fairy.
That's a bad idea.
Oh, that's not too bad.
And they know whose souls are devoured.
It did not ask for your soul.
No.
That's fine.
This makes me question certain beliefs I've had, because I don't think that's how that works. But if the fairy cat thinks that's how that works, oh no.
If you see any black cats around, just be nice to them.
Be nice to any cat you see around.
Yeah, no, that's just good. That's just a good habit to have.
Los gatitos.
I look very closely to see whether or not the bread has been bitten into. Not yet. Okay.
She's fine.
It's just filtering in.
Yeah.
Right. You're just
Osmosis.
getting the digest.
You're becoming one.
In between those random ass fragments of your memory, Jimena, you dream pieces of what just happened. You still see the bowl sort of rampaging and like burning through inquisitors. The feeling is powerful in you, and for a moment you see familiar figures within the blaze, and it loops you back to your family's deaths, which is an unpleasant part of this dream, and you have an image of the women of your family stepping out of the blaze, and one of them puts a crucifix into your hand. In the dream, as it fades and goes back to another piece of randomness, you feel the hard but squishy form of a bread shoved into your arms. But in that moment where you're half awake, you feel the cross of the crucifix in your hand.
Bread crucifix.
Yeah. Your two holy artifact. When there's a painting made of Jimena, they got like the scepter and the orb, like you're gonna have a loaf of bread. But yeah, it feels very tangible in your hand. The mood in the house is a little bit less festive than usual because everybody's fucking exhausted. Periodically, there's like director's commentary from Jimena about something completely unrelated.
Sometimes she's crying.
Evine, what do we get from the cat?
I don't think we get anything. I think she gets something.
Well, we get
Assurance of the damnation of the unworthy.
Was that it?
Is that it? No, that's what you paid the cat. What does the cat give you in return?
Oh, I don't know. I think it just helps. Maybe you trip someone.
Oh, that's fair.
Evine, next time you enter into contract with a supernatural being, perhaps Bartok, hi.
Hello.
Maybe you should, ask someone else, just as an input to read the contract. Just an idea.
I know you asked for a second opinion, but the way that got in is like, next time there's a deal to be made, like,
Call your attorney.
don't do it.
Call representation.
Have somebody else do it.
Please hold.
Well, I call my attorney.
Right? Call your
I
lawyer.
could call him back. I'm pretty sure if I say his name 3 times, he'll show up.
No,
Not in this house.
don't do that. No, don't. No, why? Stop.
You can go outside and call him back, but not inside. The Domovoy would not like that.
He just said help.
Oh, maybe they might be
Ominously.
friends. I don't know.
So I felt we could use all the ominous help we could get.
I don't know about that. I think we're doing okay.
I think you worry too much.
That's her fairy cat, not our fairy cat.
That's the only reason I'm not really upset about it.
My demons have been helping the whole time.
Well, there's something about we haven't made a contract with someone in very long since your bloodline was very
Oh
important.
no.
That was very scary.
Berthold is just getting more and more dejected.
You can see all of the troll fairy tale stories play across.
Well, Shinya's
Ripple's
like,
eyes.
you need to be nicer to the Fae. Like, if they don't do them favors, they don't do you favors.
You make sure you carry a cold iron axe, and then when they come to you, they cannot touch you because they cannot cross hewn wood, and it's like
Shinya's like, he's worried too much.
Yeah. Marlena, that's some pagan shit happening.
I mean, I know.
Oh, yeah,
But I don't really have any feelings about
Yeah, there's
it.
some crazy
personally.
pagan shit.
Oh yeah.
I probably have some very unchurch-like thoughts about Theas, so I kind of just keep my religious thoughts to myself in general.
You want
Right.
dents? This is how you get dents.
Yeah.
No,
Berthold, in your travels, you're sort of familiar with these kinds of face spirits that supposedly wander about looking like cats. Some people think they might be witches, but more likely they're fae.
I can't see
And
them.
you treat them like crazy people on the bus. You politely ignore them until absolutely necessary,
Right.
and then you are polite and disengage as soon as possible without making any promises.
I cannot help with
You
things I
remember?
cannot see in faith, so.
You remember a couple of folks from the Highland Marches that had told you that basically they love heat, supposedly. So there's like a superstition in the marshes about if somebody dies, you don't light a fire near them because then the fucking cat comes about for the heat and then it sucks the soul out.
I mean, mine
Just
lives in
eats
the
them.
hearth.
So
I think there's something about a wish granted, or probably.
You're not very good at talking to other creatures.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Is
don't
to
do much talking. That's the thing.
well, see, that's why they need to like talk with when they do this. You'd be like, okay, one moment, and then
you
talk.
found a cat genie.
Yeah, it's like, and then even you just talk back into the shadow. I figured that's how that works. That it's not just a one-way direction. I'd be like, oh, hey, look, this weird, ferret with two heads is like, hey, do you want to make a deal? We might have some thoughts for you.
Ricardo starts laughing at the imagery of the ferret, but then looks at Rethold, and Rethold has an expression like, that happened to my cousin, so like Ricardo stops laughing.
Jay has, why don't you?
I was looking up like similar like other cultures' names for the same thing.
Yeah.
Wikipedia was not too helpful, other than big ears.
Yeah, there's one that's called Big Ears. That's a named one. That's its name. And I'm like, come on, you don't want to be found out.
Maybe she'll delicately use one of the more colloquial terms in a different language that at least one of them would know, like,
He's playing charades at that point.
Why don't we just call him what's his name from Aristocrats? Just Thomas O'Malley.
Abraham Delacey, Giuseppe Casey.
Yeah.
When she says it in another language, do I now know who the spirit is?
Yeah, you have a pretty good idea.
Okay.
You heard a lot of the same kind of stuff. Supposedly they eat souls.
It's fine. He's not here
But
for
they're
you.
fae. They're not necessarily evil.
No.
That's just what they do. They're just old as fuck.
He does not want anything but the soul of the people you tell him eat, right? You're fine.
That's what I thought.
It just might have been nice to get the better, more clearly articulated.
Portion
help.
sandwiches.
Well, if she gets a wish,
Body massage.
she may...
Rethold is like, did you get into an argument without a signed fucking contract? Like, god damn it. Like,
I hear there's this other devil that apparently the Theans worry about. You better fucking watch it if one of them shows. They got like
Is there actually a devil in
horns.
it's Legion.
Legion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking
Yeah.
about the Legion.
They got Legolas over there, and he's got like horns and
Legion
a spiky
doesn't-
tail.
He
And
does not come to the plane of Earth.
Even is like, hey guys, I made another friend to help us out. Like, I was down by that crossroads back there.
right? Yeah.
He works through
Right.
people.
We played fiddles
But he
for a
does
bit.
still like taking souls.
I don't trust it. Like our demons come straight. They crawl straight to fuck up Yogurt still. They don't give a shit. That's why you punch them back down. They don't.
That's not very nice.
Yeah, it is. They're assholes.
Well, because you punched them.
Yeah, because they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat your soul," and you're like, "No, the fuck out of my log house. We're trying to have meat here." Harshing the vibe. Harshing the vibe.
Did you ever think to offer them the meat? They come sit behind your oven with you and they make bread?
We would have, but no. They swing the door open. They're like, "Oh," and you're like, "No, wrong vibe."
Can you
Did not
remember
pass
a
the
time
vibe
when
check.
that didn't happen?
Tattoo
Make Veston great
again.
More evidence that my ears was very polite
See?
and helpful.
Well, as long as you weren't like kowtowing to it by like leaving milk out and like being like, I'm looking but I'm not looking, because like with a real cat. Because then it's just inviting them in.
They want to come in. The Domovoy is here.
Metaphorically in, like, oh yeah, no, you're welcome.
He had some cream and he had an adorable kitty mustache.
Real far in the distance, you hear a sound like two cats fighting.
Oh god, see, it's eating another soul right now.
It's
Some
not
poor
eating
innocent cat.
Cats have souls.
Yeah.
I need to go to
Everything
bed and
has
talk
a
to
soul.
A hat.
Yeah.
I'm a hat to speak with.
See? Everything has a soul.
Every rocket dream creature
in every fucking
has a
state.
spirit.
The cup on the earth.
That's why I'm like,
All of Marilena's wardrobe.
I love how like our belief systems are just Celtic knots. They're just weed and
Right. Cardinals here, like, yeah, there's a god, and then there's kind of a devil. And...
Can we tap into to have just collect all the cat spirits to come protect?
oh god, we found Rabbit's other minigame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
All the cat spirits.
Spiritual cat cafe.
What's that fucking game where you set up a house or a front porch to lure cats to hang out
Oh,
with?
that's
yeah.
Jaren started playing
Oh,
that.
I've played that
I
too.
played it for a hot minute. Yeah.
That's what Evine's playing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She saw Zhenya start it and was
Yeah.
like, oh,
You're like, oh, here's a cat I haven't lured here before.
Here, little cushion.
Yeah.
Yep.
oh no.
You want the pillow to put outside?
Except they're
alright.
spirit cats, so like you're gonna have to be like, all right, here's a pagan altar, here's a skull, here's a jar with a soul in it. Let's see what I
I have
get.
to check my pack, but I think I'm fresh out.
One's a legitimate Poe from Zelda.
After we are done
All right.
arguing about cat spirits. Oh. We just recorded the address.
Oh, shit.
I was like,
Oh,
oops.
I should have thought about that.
Well, I'm the one who
58.
did it first, so it's my fault.
58-minute mark.
We gotta bleed this shit.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, nothing
I'm glad you realized.
nothing interesting was happening at that moment.
God damn it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Just forgot we're just broadcasting that to the whole wide world.
Yeah, well.
If it doesn't happen at least once a year, we're not doing it right.
Well, there was that one time that I had my phone like in clear view of the
The camera?
camera.
Oh, that shit
People can
happened
see
all
your
the time.
passport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just like, y'all need to get better at this.
Hey, it's never happened since, as far as I know.
So yes, we're all going to bed. Jenny will sit on the rooftop until Veronica comes home.
At one point in all of this, like, Jimena randomly, like, sits straight up, and you're like, oh, she's a... and then she just kind of... and, like...
Almost.
Like, not quite. She, like, sits straight up, says something really strange, and then lies back down again. I don't know what she says, but it's something entirely incoherent.
I mean, that's sometimes what it's like
Why is the
being
elephant wearing
being
shoes?
married to my wife, because that periodically happens.
I do now and then have whole conversations, it seems.
Sometimes
very
it's fucking
disjointed.
like presentations. I'm like, holy shit, this is detailed.
It's because I'm just awake enough that I'm saying stuff
We're gonna
that's
have to-
happening in my dreams,
Is there
but
gonna be a
also
quiz?
my brain isn't quite connected with reality, so stuff
Right.
is coming out like very strangely.
Sometimes you ask me questions, and I'm like, what? Like, I have zero context. Like, what is this? And then you repeat it, and it's like, that was not the problem. Like, I heard the question. Like, that was not the issue.
That's not the problem.
So you're waiting for Veronica to come home. It takes quite a while.
Yeah. And she just
Late into the night, about like 2-3 a.m.
she puts Ricardo to bed, she sits there till he's sleeping, goes outside, sits on the roof and just waits for her to come home.
I like to watch you sleep.
I need to make sure he's not going to get up and do something again. He needs to rest.
Night. Just rolls right out of bed.
He wakes up tied to it.
When he falls asleep, he falls asleep hard.
Wakes up, sees him like, I thought we were waiting for the wedding night.
You
I learned something new today.
you get that moment like where he hits like soldier mode, right? Like where it's like, well, we might have 3 hours to sleep. Sleep needs to happen now, and you know, it basically like he rolls over, and within 30 seconds he's gone.
Fucking Jaren.
Yeah,
Swear to fucking God.
Yeah,
that's me too.
It's that your body's trained to be like, well, I need to sleep now. And
Yep. Every time I'm gonna go lay down, I don't know if I'm gonna fall asleep though, and then immediately,
Oh, you go fucking fall asleep.
and then I have to go wake him up because he has to sleep with his machine on to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah.
So then he falls asleep, and then immediately like, I'm like, oh goddamn, like Jaren, babe, you gotta put your mask on, like, and then he puts it on, and then he falls immediately back asleep, and I'm like, I fucking hate you. Like, God damn it.
Yeah, about 2-3 a.m. Veronica rolls home looking dirty,
Can I ask Deanna if she wants a bubble?
tired.
Of course.
100%.
So yeah, she rolls home.
Yes. I dropped it. Yeah, thanks. It's more like I don't want the dog to snarf it up.
Yeah, because she fucking will.
It's on the ground. It's fair
Oh,
game.
snarf
Snarf.
from
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
From the
Yeah.
cats. Yeah, she looks like she's about to collapse, but she's on her way back home. You see that there's a contingent of crows that have accompanied her to the doorstep.
Just watching.
They bid her good night, and she very quietly.
Bless you.
Help.
Yeah, you need to say it like you mean it though. Help!
Who's ordering here? Why don't you just look at what you wanted and text me?
Get the phone's right there. Put your boba order.
Anyway, did she bring any other nightingales with her, or?
No.
Okay.
No,
They stayed.
they stayed. There's probably other shifts.
They ran off into the wilderness to start a colony.
That's right.
They're an invasive species.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, they're safe now.
No.
When you go back by the morning, there's like 500 more of them.
See? What happens? You gotta spam and neuter them, or else
Yeah.
they just the population explodes.
They fucking took over.
Now we're gonna have to start a hunting program to keep the population down.
Population control.
That's right.
Yeah, she's very careful to not make any noise.
Just watching.
Yep, she doesn't see you.
Fine.
And
Your
yeah,
skin is nice and cool.
creeps into the kitchen. Notices Jimena asleep still. She almost responds a couple times when there's like interjections, but then it's like, oh no, she doesn't actually hear me.
Lowers herself back into the window, sits in the window still, watching the stairs.
It takes a little bit, and then you sort of see her shape like rolling around like where the stairs are, with her arms like full of like bread and other foods, and she sort of comes up and then sees your silhouette,
Just perched in the window.
and they're just like a.
I don't look that bad.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see anybody.
That's fair. Get everything done?
What we could. There's still more. If that's all right, I will go back in the morning to help bury the dead.
Of course.
There's quite a lot, and I think they'll need the support.
What time is our meeting with whoever?
About midday.
I will go with you. Kasha might want to come too.
would appreciate it. I don't know how willing you are to use your gifts, but I think it will help.
Of course.
She looks like she's about to say something else, but she looks like her brain isn't, when you get to that stage where
The
you're
fog
like
is here.
exhausted and she's just like, the connections are starting to not fire. She's like, I'm sorry. I think
Good
I
luck,
need to
soldier.
lie
Go
down."
to bed.
Thank you. And she doesn't even think and like salutes, and she gets up and just realizes what she did and just
Bread. fell
Jenny
on the
has a
ground.
smile.
lets it go, right? It just like moves along and gets into her room.
Now she can go to bed. Shuts the window.
Yep. Everybody's in. Nobody's missing.
Nope. Someone's still downstairs mumbling.
Yep.
We're good.
You hear it periodically.
There's
At one
a
point,
pitcher of water next to you in case you wake up.
if somebody wanders down in the middle of the night, they get the equivalent of like someone sleepwalking into the fridge. She's just got like her cheese in her mouth or something like.
She looks out and goes, "I've seen their eyes." Shuts the fridge and goes back to sleep.
Yeah, like she looks at you, but she's clearly not looking at you.
Yep.
Fun.
I've seen them.
My brother slept walk when he was a kid, and he's gonna love. Enjoy this, internet. Jay, if you ever listen to this shit at some point, you're fucking welcome that I'm telling this story to everybody. My brother got up from his bed, just sleepwalking. I was watching TV with my parents. He was about, I would say, 5 or 6 years old.
Mhm.
Went into the kitchen, popped our trash can open, and then peed in it, and went back to bed.
I want to say you told this one to us before.
No, I've not heard that one.
Oh,
It sounds familiar, but
okay.
it's
Well, you
still
definitely
incredible.
told me about it multiple
Just-
times.
Unimpeded, no hesitation whatsoever.
Well,
And my dad
worst
is
place
like-
you could have peed in.
The fuck just happened? No.
No, you should sleepwalk too.
You
Gotta don't do that shit.
8 pieces of 8 chunks out of butter.
Yeah.
Power.
I had 4 friends staying over, and we had the trundle out so we could all sleep lengthwise across it. And somehow I ferried my ass over 3 other bodies without waking them, squeezed out of the door that wouldn't open more than a quarter of the way because the trundle was out, came to the kitchen, took a bite out of the butter bar, put it back in the fridge, and then ferried my ass back to bed.
Nice.
Damn.
And confirm.
Yep.
That is.
Were you
amazing.
there?
No, I've just heard this so many times.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
I was like, no, it was before you.
And close to when it happened.
Yeah.
You're like, you really are a bear
Well-
with him. You're like, I must hibernate. You just eat fucking butter. But yes, for months.
Everyone was sitting around the breakfast table looking at the bar of butter with all the teeth marks in it, being like, what the fuck? And I wake up with the butteriest motherfucking mouth. Just whole
Oh
coated.
yeah, the fucking waking up must have been.
Oh.
You're like,
I mean, I really like butter, but that's too much. Just
well,
too much even for me.
right,
But it's just the coating.
just raw to you. Ugh.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Leo
French,
used to
and
sleepwalk.
even I am like, All right, order is in. You're the last one doing something, and I think you're going. Are you going to talk to your hat for real?
Well, I mean,
What piece of clothing are
yeah.
you to talk to now?
I don't know if I talk to it. I mostly just sit with it in my lap like it's a pet.
You're
And think
sitting-
to it thoughts about keeping my friends and family protected.
The other cat.
Yep.
I don't know if it responds to
Yeah,
it.
that one's a hat.
Yes, it's a hat.
Well, in as what seemed to be the trend for the things that you create, you don't get an immediate response. But when you go to sleep, your dreams are actually quite pleasant. You see a lot of the people you care about. It's interesting because you mentioned.
It's in my pants.
This time.
There you go. Pants are having a party.
I'd
Damn
like
it.
to invite you to the pants party.
Oh. Thank you. Oh, no, that's not where that goes. Thank you.
Brick, did they tell you to tell me that I was invited to the pants party?
Do you mean that there's a party in your pants and I'm invited?
Right.
Did Champ put you up to this?
You get let me in. I know Derek. Yeah, it's interesting because you thought of like friends and family.
Mhm.
You don't really see your actual biological family, but you see all of this crew having a meal at a table, having a grand old time. It's one of those like maybe you're back at the restaurant in San Felipe, but it's not quite right. It's not quite the place. Maybe it's a combination of multiple places you've been at, but regardless, there's a feeling of warmth, of camaraderie, and the who's who is there. It's this whole crew. It's all of your adopted kids. It's your twins back in San Felipe. Of course, your husband. Your boss. In a corner, you almost like feel like you can spot your ex-boss from San Felipe.
Of
That old lady.
But her image is sort of fuzzy, and your brain is like, is that what she looked like? I can't quite remember. But yeah, that's you get a feeling of like everybody is good and safe and happy, and you get a sense that you've put something in motion that contributes to that. It's a very pleasant image, and when you wake up in the morning, you wake up thoroughly refreshed.
Well, this is really not murder hat. This is like happy
It's a friendship.
protection and love
Yeah.
hat.
Comfort hat.
Comfort
Yeah,
hat. There
it's
we
a
go.
comfort hat.
We had the murder dress, now we have the comfort hat.
That's right. That's right. You should get to work on that despair clutch next.
Clutch of despair.
Yep. But yeah, you all get plenty of rest. Everybody gets up the next morning. Veronica's up early. So's Ricardo.
I'm always up early.
Yep. So are you, and you see that crew. You see the that little family unit is getting ready to go somewhere.
Jenny will offer. Let you know where they're going.
Yeah. I think I will stick around here a little longer.
Where are you guys going?
We're gonna go bury the dead.
Ah.
Back to the battlefield.
They're going back to the battle site. Jimena, you can wake up at any point during that. Because you're still in the common area.
Yeah. No, Hannah woke up. She's like, she kind of looks around. She's like, when did I get here?
This whole crew's up at that point.
And then she just sort of like looks at the loaf of bread and she's like, oh, breaks it in half.
As you look into your hands, Jimena, there is a soot-covered rosary in one of your hands, like just the crucifix part. It's covered in ash and soot, but probably used to be very beautiful.
She has wait.
I just sort of mutter to whoever's in the room, like, he's eating. and like so
Oh,
the
good,
news
good,
can
good.
spread through.
She has the
Because
moment of
everyone's
like,
been
wait,
on
did
watch,
I?
so yeah.
It's like, is this mine? Did I dream that? Is this real? Oh my god! And then I don't have time to think about that right now
I'm like,
because I'll probably cry into this bread.
the butter's right here.
I'm just gonna
if
eat this
that's what
bread.
you're looking for.
But she just sort of slips it in her like pocket. She doesn't show it to anybody or.
No,
say
I see
anything.
you obviously pause, but like
Yeah.
it's like, what's wrong? Like my brain assumes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the butter.
Has the bread dried out?
Yeah,
The
I'm
butter
like,
will help.
I'm like, yeah, there's a fresh loaf right there.
It's
Oh,
bread
nice.
lubricant.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? I have nothing to hide. Chomp, 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 chomp.
I'm not suspicious. You're suspicious. Your mom.
Don't be suspicious.
Your mom's
Don't be
suspicious.
Okay.
All right. Well, this crew will go back to the battle site to bury the dead, which is uneventful but unpleasant.
Yeah.
Colonel Whiteheart is there, just presiding over the whole thing. She's uncharacteristically solemn. Looks like she hasn't slept last night, and Eugenia, being a soldier, you can tell immediately why, as there is a pile of handwritten letters on her desk.
Yep.
At this point.
All the I'm sorries.
It will be funneled to people, all corners of Thea. You do get a pretty hearty pat when she sees you step in.
Do I have to use a hero point to use my magic for this?
No.
Okay,
for this
cool,
one.
'cause I only
Not
have
for
one
this
left.
one. It's
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah, this is.
it's cosmetic.
Yeah.
Everyone roll a d10.
Oh.
Ah, there you go.
I remembered earlier, but I wasn't feeling it.
6. 2.
2. I heard 6.
4.
Rabbit, roll a d10.
Because Rethold is 100% your scald at this point. So
Okay, the 6. You get an extra hero point.
Yay!
That's how it works, right?
yeah, you get a pretty hearty pat.
Yeah.
And a good work out there, Commander. The battle was won.
General, don't give me any more.
Don't expect any more. But
Jenna replaces the pat with a hug.
she also informs you that a group of Vestin was here late yesterday and very carefully took away that thing out in the field.
Good.
And packaged it separately. Something about it being shipped on 2 separate ships.
Wonderful. Ruth will be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, that was
I wouldn't think you're not unhappy about it either.
No, I'm not mad.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
yeah, that thing was an eyesore. I'm glad it's gone.
It was more than that.
Yeah, eyesore. Yeah.
Yeah, she spits.
Queen of understatement.
Ugh.
Right?
Clear away the devil.
Well, I normally this is where I would say something meaningful and sappy, and she's sort of addressing the whole group. I miss the general. I wish he was here. That's sort of where he shines and where I take a step back. So I'm not going to stand on ceremony and talk for hours here. All I'm going to say is thank you. The day was won. It was hard won. But I couldn't be prouder to serve among you all. And I know you will remember those that have fallen yesterday. We will carry them with us as we continue. And she basically brings up a tankard from her belt, even though it's 7:30 in the morning at this point, fills it with ale and just raises it. To our brothers and sisters. And she downs that sucker immediately. You see a bunch of the other crows do the same.
Follow suit.
And then she gives you a nod and said, well, not for the grim part of this business.
Instead of having everyone dig holes, Zhenya has everyone laid out neatly in rows, and then she just lowers them into the earth, and then does her best impression of Ludo and calls all the rocks to her, and then the rocks surround where they've been buried, and one pops up at the head of everyone.
The colonel doesn't really say anything. That's...
yeah.
Again, very uncharacteristic, but at this point, she's just like standing there, she's watching. She regrets that more is not in her tankard. But, yeah, just complete silence. Veronica and Ricardo help where they can. Ricardo actually like goes around and commiserates with a bunch of the survivors. Lots of handshakes and pats. You actually hear a lot of the soldiers like thanking him specifically, including some of the younger rifle folks, right? Like that made it a couple of times. Like they're trying to, they're expressing thanks to him, and midway through the thanks, they start to choke up, and he's just like,
"No, we're done.
You're
Thank
good.
you.
You're here.
Yep.
You're here. Appreciate that. You're around. You're alive, right?" After a little bit, he sort of pulls away from this and puts his hat back on, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I think I'm also done. I think it's time."
Zhenya does her rounds and gives everyone a handshake and a thank you as well, because they were under her command. And then looks at Veronica. Are you going to stay here, or are you going to come back with us? As neutral of a
As
face
much
as possible.
as I feel needed here, we have bigger and better things now that we need to tackle.
Okay. And then Zhenya will horse. And let's go.
And yeah, with that, the soldiers watch you turn into a horse.
A magnificent white stallion.
Your husband and your sister.
Most magnificent horse.
With still the same, like, honey brown hair.
Right. Your hair stayed the same. That's your tail.
Yep. With the bright green eyes. Nothing more unholy has ever walked this earth.
Yeah, but like the horse has a very anime eye, like so it's obvious it's not a horse eye.
Yeah. Well, I think the point is they look like horse eyes, but instead of being black, they're just lightning green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that glow.
Did Freya go outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw the porch, right?
Right. Clickety, 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 clickety.
Her little piggy tippy toes.
Mm-hmm.
Sausage.
Good girl. Thank you.
Alright.
Oh,
Now to
shit.
figure this out.
Let's go.
I think mine's purple.
Mine is the golden, is what it's called.
the golden.
Yeah.
They might have labeled them. Ghost Dragon.
That might be. I don't know.
Sounds like something you drink.
Right? It has like.
That might be
Deanna's too.
Deanna's.
That might be the
Yeah,
I think mine's purple.
put a tab on that one.
Yeah. This is so fun.
Kiwi to my heart.
I think that's me. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. Strawberry.
Here's the Melange Rouge.
The melange. Alright, let's see.
No, Rouge.
Mine's probably
There's
pink one.
blush.
That's me.
That's yours.
I like me my pink drink.
I think there's two
Let me see. What are they?
matching ones here. Roastless History.
Well, that's the one I got. Is the Roasters History.
I got the same.
Mine is this one's mine. It has my ice and sweetness.
Mine's the Ghost Dragon.
Yeah. So that one's yours.
Not as purple as I thought it would be. Oh yeah.
So that means this one is Deanna's.
Yeah, that means the Melange Rouge is Deanna's.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
ASMR crinkle.
Yeah, that's right.
We're having boba and you're not. Haha.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Yeah, boba.
I mean, I know it was a straw. But
That's very hilarious.
it was like Amanda's ghost toilet.
Megan is.
She's dead now.
For the podcast, Megan is dying.
Yeah.
Oh
right
damn,
after the
that's
first,
good.
right after the sip too.
Yeah.
Because of course.
Wanna taste that?
Just
Get boba.
Yeah.
great.
That was a morning radio show like Sting.
Welcome to the morning zoo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not making any fun sounds.
I look at this one all the time, but never get it. God damn, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
This one's really tasty.
Yeah. I got the same
Yeah,
one,
please.
and this is really good.
It is
Oh.
jasmine and butterfly tea infused with mango and citrus fruit.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good.
I was expecting
All
that
right.
to have that pretty purple situation happening, but
It probably
Yeah,
does
just-
if you get it in.
yeah,
But it
and
probably got.
What would a
Shift it
French
around.
word be for like foppish or overly showy or that sort of?
The the French. I mean, that's everything French.
I was like,
Right.
Monsieur,
Let me think about
just sir.
a word that would.
Because I've been hitting some English to French translations, and the French word looks too much like the English word for me for it to be really hit well.
Yeah.
Ostentatious is just
Yeah.
ostentatio, like.
I feel like I know one and I can't think of it because you're asking.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll come back to him.
I mean, he'd be a better.
At 3
Better
o'clock in the
source.
morning, the two of you are going to sit up and say the same
mean,
word out
there-
loud.
There's
Post it in the Discord.
there's some that I can think of, but they're like old words, right? Like
Well,
they're
fuck
not.
it.
They're
I mean,
not
it's
like
for this game, so whatever you
they're not
got,
like-
yeah. Give me them old words.
my favorite would be it's. I'm gonna type it for you. It's freluquet.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds frilly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It sounds like loud
freluquet
or
is kind of
something.
it's like a dandy,
give me that. Yes, that's exactly what I want.
but it's like
Oh, I love this fat cat.
If
It's
you-
so good.
That's
if you
Amanda's-
drop that like in normal conversation, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, excuse me, Molière," or like, "What are you doing?"
My cat-in-law.
yes, it's her cat.
Oh, you should steal that cat.
She's tried.
I've joked about it several times. She's so stupid too that she would just be like, "Oh,
Look at that good face. Like,
This is
that's
my
a,
life now.
that's
It
a good
reminds
cat
me
face.
of our old cat Pookie.
You just put some ham under a box with a string, and you gonna have a cat.
Put your finger under a box with a string. That cat.
you can like
Mhm.
pick her up upside down and she just is like, okay.
That's an insult you throw like during a rapier duel.
So very fitting for the setting. Okay, cool. Perfect. We got there.
All right. Any business that you wish to undertake before this meeting with the Cardinal? / do you make any preparations to leave, Lisso? Because at this point, your main mission is officially
How fucking
done
long
with.
has it been since I seen my husband? Okay.
Too long.
Ladies got needs.
I mean, technically speaking, haven't we only been here for like
A week?
a month and a half,
Yeah,
maybe?
about a month and a half.
Oh,
Total. Total.
Yeah.
I think we
Ibena
would
is
just...
going down to the basement to clean off this sooty crucifix that she's hidden in her pocket.
You got some Coke
Are
and
we
some baking soda. And just...
Still in spring?
Yes.
Just more along the lines of like late spring now.
Yeah, you're basically
Okay.
like late April equivalent at this
Okay.
point, getting into May.
Because depending on the time of year, depends on what gods I can call upon. If it gets too warm, then they can't come to us.
So,
You can't work out of the
I will
winters.
be talking with
It's
Aurelia
almost bells
about
ringing.
how we're gonna run the Duchessa without me there. Because I kind of, well, I mean, okay, I asked her first if she would be okay with taking it over.
She's actually seems pretty happy to do this, and
In 2 apps.
she
I think she's
offers
a
to
chill.
you to make a call with the remaining Escaras and say if any of them want to stay in Lisso and want to get gainful employment, if they want to join that crew, because she knows them and, you know, would be more than happy to work with them.
Oh, yeah.
And that hits the spot right now.
Yes, thank you. This is damn good.
We didn't come on the Belle and Blanche. We came with the Belle and Blanche. We came.
Yeah, we came on our own ship, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah, we came on the
Gull,
we
right?
came on the Gull, I think.
We came on the Gull. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Then yeah.
I gotta round up all my nightingales and figure out what to do with them.
Didn't we tell your troop and the bark eaters from Ison to come down here to Lisso, or did we tell them just to come into the region?
I don't think we ever necessarily said that.
Hmm.
We just said to come down.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we specified Lisso or...
Wow. I think your letter was like, war is on the horizon, we may need your help,
Yeah.
kind of a
Says
situation.
we also send a letter to the cruiser just in case Xenia's cousin isn't actually en route right now. Wait, what?
The cruisin? The
Yeah.
Cruisator
Yeah.
are the guys from the forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're the Ison.
But my cousin had mentioned... One of my cousins mentioned that cousin was coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she might already be on her way, or... We don't
I
know.
think we just told them
To get into
to
Odiseo.
to be in Odiseo. I don't think
Yeah.
we gave them like a
Yeah.
specific.
You got a response to that, and I can't remember if it was recorded here, but you got a response that Major Krauser's unit is still stationed in the forest, and they're still
Right.
watching for shit, but
They're sending us the
they sent
the
word
recruits.
to his commanding officer, the general of their company, who is right now in maneuvers around Montaigne, basically training troops on behalf of Montaigne and Castille.
That's why they're bark eaters and not yet ghost punchers.
Mm.
At least that's how I'm going.
When I become a real god,
Yeah.
I'm most of the way there.
I think our concern was more about San Felipe than. I mean, obviously we're concerned about Lisso too, but the idea is that Verdugo has it out
San
for
Felipe is
us,
a big old
Yeah.
target.
and
Yeah.
will want to destroy or hurt
And
things
San
that we
Felipe
care
has
about.
had longer to prep while the heat's on Lisso. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it said something here about setting some of the crows ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went through all that letter writing. I had actually sent a letter to my husband to be prepared to go at any
And
time.
we'd already started like some preliminary stuff for that
Yeah.
when we left. So cool. Let's go to the brunch with Cardinal Fatty.
Cardinal.
And we can talk about how we will try and redirect Wow Rabbit. That's
No.
I love them. Oh,
Oh, beans.
they're incredible.
Yeah.
That top picture is
It's like the many moods of this cat.
Oh, exquisite.
that cat looks like me every time I try to take a picture with my phone, and it's the fucking front camera. Like, this is my face.
She loves the
They
shit out
made
of
me
it.
they made me a mug with that top picture.
That expression
Aw, that's beautiful.
is pretty amazing. That second one too, like the face on that second one is.
There's just nothing
good
behind those
choice.
eyes.
No,
Nope.
it just lays there.
So cute.
It's interesting because I sent 9 and only 3 came through.
It was just too much for Discord. Too much cat.
Actually,
I'll
it
just-
might
I'll
be.
send them to Lisa.
Sometimes it gets mad. It's like, no, that needs to be.
You know, when your stuff is more than 8 megabytes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you clean up that crucifix, Jimena, it's quite beautiful. It's basically straight gold and has gems at all 4, like big gems at all 4 of the cardinal points, and then like the bottom cross and the circle all have, you know, just like a tiny encrusted gem. It looks kind of like this.
I want to see. Oh, neat.
Ooh,
Yeah,
much
it's
nicer than the one that I made.
Mm-hmm.
My phone is still vibrating.
Yes,
She's
the
sick.
dangle.
More.
Aw, kitty.
Oh, saw that one.
Oh, I love.
Yes.
So very good.
For the
Stretch.
podcast, just go look at cat pictures.
Yeah,
Just pull up another tab.
this is an interactive portion of this
That was it.
podcast. Like, pick a cat that you really, you know, find cute, and go look at pictures of that cat.
Feel it.
Is it
Cute and
one
vacant.
that,
Yep.
like, does she recognize it as, like, belonging to anybody? Or is it she's just like, damn, it's nice ass being cross. I wonder where it fucking came from. That's
You're-
weird.
From the bread.
You're reasonably convinced you've seen this exact design in your immediate family.
Nice. Phantasmas.
The Phoenix Call has crew.
Yay.
Fully
Yay.
fleshed out. And now for the Gull, which is the one we actually are on.
We're,
I
we're
forgot all about doing that. Oops.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Tony getting what my plight is with this game all the time. It's like there's a bunch of NPC created for that area that you're not in.
Oh, yep. That was just the one I ended up starting with. No,
Is there something that one of my nightingales can do?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write one down as a nightingale.
Yeah.
I'll get you her proper name later. I'll provide crew.
Yeah, well, as for the group,
Isak will be part of the crew too.
you get a chance. You get a chance to actually put them.
No, Amanda.
Lisa should shut the door.
Keep going, Rabbit. Keep going.
Now I just feel like I'm in church.
Rabbit, she muted you, so I'm gonna need you to call me so you can continue to sing.
It's catching now. Thanks.
It's spreading. Yeah, you can either leave them here in Lisso, like there's still plenty of wounded even in the city, like following the attack.
Well, I think
Or
that's
you can bring them with you to San Felipe.
that's the thing. After she does her rounds of like thanking all the soldiers and that sort of thing, and saying her piece over the land, she's going to ask them. This is come down to where you need to make a choice. You either stay here and continue to do good in Lisso, you will have a home, because I will leave that home to you. It is protected, and it will continue to be. Or you can come home with me, and again, you will have something to do that spreads good, and you will have a home over your head.
You get a sense that many of them are tied to the place and are willing to stay here.
Yeah.
Under my breath to whoever's nearby, I'm like, or you can always turn to a life of piracy.
That's always an option. Reto always includes it as the fourth option to everything. Or become a pirate.
Try to make them all honest people.
What about our Batman guy?
As long as they're not
How's he
brainwashed
doing,
people.
or what is he gonna do now?
Well, that's part of your preparations. Is you've
It's like Hector was helping with the Scars for a while, but they seem to be kind of getting towards a.
There's still a few who need a father figure. I'm sure he's sort of.
Yep. Although,
He's house dad.
if you do go talk to Hector,
Yeah,
you'll find that many of them are actually really looking to get the fuck out of here. He's working with the ones that are having the most trouble, and many of them are like, yeah, I just want to know. I don't care where.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough.
I mean, I could definitely take on Hector.
Well, there's a couple in that group that you want to work with. So,
That's true. Yes, I have been kind of trying to keep an eye on them.
yep. You're not 100% sure because there is no certainty in your line of work, but you're reasonably convinced these girls have the gift.
I mean, my other end game is basically starting up a, I don't know what I would call it yet, but basically an organization for fate which is outside Vodache, who basically run themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, if you've detected the hint of the gift in these girls, another fate witch will notice it, and if it's a witch that still has tie to the country, you know what will happen to these girls.
Oh, of course I do.
They're either going to be brought back to Vodache and be made to serve,
I mean, I've
or...
already got something going on, right? Because in Illucha, there's the original fate witches that came to work there.
Yep.
Then I brought Lavinia in, who's now had a month and a half to get used to being free.
To be decommissioned.
And then, like, yeah, now I'm gonna put 2 more in there and see what percolates.
Yep.
It's happening.
You're building an army of fate witches, which is the irony that, like, the princes were warning that this shit was gonna happen all along is not lost upon you.
It's not really an army to me, though, because I don't see it that way. I clearly intend to give them, like, I guess kind of guidelines to live by.
Well, I more mean, like, the irony in the, yeah, this will happen, and it's fucking entirely your fault.
Oh, because they actually pushed us to this point. Right.
Right?
But yeah, like, the intention is gonna be basically that we'd have to police ourselves, so there'll be something like vampire courts, I guess, because I would probably just kill people who went wrong. Anyway, these are future plans. Extra
Maintain your fate
plans.
witch masquerade.
Yep. Like, I mean, we're basically going to be advisors to powerful people, but if we aren't able to stop our own people from taking advantage of this, then there's no point. It'll quickly become chaos. Anyway, that's future plans.
Well, it's good though. That gives me seeds. All right. So yeah, some of your nightingales, I think a lot of them will want to stay, but there's a few interested in traveling and getting out there.
Okay. So the ones who want to stay, they get the house. If they are good to the land will be good to them, and provide them with what they need and more if they need to sell it to continue. And then they know how to basically do triage now and have a whole band of nurses, so go do good.
Also, don't for any reason dig in the backyard.
No.
At least not for a month. After that, it should be fine.
Not any deeper than 10 feet. That's about as far as I drag
Yeah,
it down.
you know,
There's
make
some
make
very
the
good soil there,
make the
though.
raised beds. Yeah, the raised beds should be great.
It's that scene from Poltergeist when you dig that fucking pool and there's like an avalanche of skeletons coming out.
Yep. Everywhere Shinya lives is just full of that.
Yep. I like skeletons very,
They
very well.
nourish the earth. It makes me pleasure smile.
Exactly.
Alright, come midday, you basically can go to your meeting with Cardinal Fatima, which much less... Ah, perfect. That's perfect.
Beautiful.
That's incredible.
That face is everything. I love that expression so much.
It's like toothy
Yep.
and kind of grimaced.
You're just making that like...
What do you want?
The meeting feels much less formal than it was last time, although it is secluded in the sense that you basically get brought back to the cathedral. Yeah. You got it. You get brought back to the cathedral, then brought to like a side room. You're told to be left alone, right? Like away from prying eyes from this conversation. Fatima is there. She's not wearing her fancier vestments, like just, you know, simpler clothes. Although her scribe is also present. And Mazabi is there.
Probably wearing a fancy hat because all my outfits suddenly just all have hats now.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
all of them.
Always have a hat. You have a hat to match every outfit now. Or maybe an outfit to match your hat every time.
Depends on how I'm feeling.
Mazabi is also here without Elohim this time.
Where'd he go?
He's busy murdering.
I wonder even what happened to the gardener. Did you just do that last kill and disappear into the sunset?
I mean, that's their job.
So,
Fatima sort of indicates for you to sit down, and there is actually lunch
Oh,
served there, like on that side table.
well then.
And she also looks very tired. And as she indicates for you to sit, she says, I hope you've had a chance, at least to get a little bit of rest.
I'm fine.
yes.
There will be much work to be done in this city, but I think your attention goes further than that, to the welfare of, and again there's a slight pause, and she says, to Odissea as a whole. At this point, the news will not fall upon deaf ears. I fully expect a assembly of the Grandes coming shortly. This hasn't happened in quite some time, and This will probably be a dangerous time for Odiseo. Politicians will try to pull back the Ducado. I think that battle is lost in advance. I think the Cardinal knows this. And so she pauses as if considering which next word to use, and then says, "We need to prepare for war."
That's already begun.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like, oh, honey, we're on
this
it.
is. I'm like, I'm glad you're catching up, but we need you to get a little. So, like, that's the vibe. Rethel is more interested in the snacks.
Right.
Like, while the talking is happening, he's like gotten up and is like making a little plate, and he's like just nodding.
My work here is only just beginning. I have information on some of the other cardinals that I will be happy to share with you as I see how far the Viper's Nest goes. I don't know which of them are truly, fully loyal to Esteban.
Well, for now, the whole point is to keep up the charade that this guy made it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And once I find out, I will start giving you the tools and helping you destroy them.
Good.
I had Esteban's confidence once. He gave me this position because I used to serve as a spy. That was my trade before I took on the cloth. And he knew this. But I knew nothing of this assassination attempt in my own domain, which shows that Esteban is not entirely convinced I can be trusted anymore.
Wait, who's Esteban?
Yes,
Cardinal Verdugo.
Yeah. No one ever calls him that.
Yeah, she's not shy about calling him by his first name. He sent me a letter this morning saying a rogue element was striking in my territory and he was working to deal with it. He's trying to disavow the actions of the Inquisitor, which I know to be untrue. So I will play the dutiful and stupid Cardinal for a while longer. But I will not tolerate to be played. She reaches into one of her cloak's pockets and puts a knife on the table, which Zhenya you immediately recognize as one of those knives that stabbed you.
Ugh. Immediately just away.
This was on one of the assailants that we killed in the cathedral.
Great.
I know nothing about these. That is concerning.
Do what?
It's enough to cripple me.
Oh.
That was the day I came home fucked.
Oh, that was one of them.
Yes.
I think Madre Paloma had something to do with the secret of their construction. With her dead, this might be a little bit more tricky to divine, but I will have some of my agents look into this. She sort of looks and said, "You're welcome to this one if you want to keep it."
None of us know what this does other than be really bad.
Well, we tried looking into it at some point, but I don't remember what
Can I
came
look
of
at
it.
I can kind of sense things in objects now.
Well, sure. You can try to have a look at it.
Well, let's see
Yep.
how I die.
Yep. Action, Megan.
What am I rolling to look at it?
Roll me your craft.
Okay, craft plus.
Oh,
Wits?
I have that.
Yeah, wits.
Okay.
Fatima says, our cursory investigation, I guess the best way I can describe it is that it's It's like a soul poison.
Add 3 more dice.
I'm taking it and having like a what's this? Or like the Jack Skellington trying to figure out Christmas.
Yep.
Fucking in the basement.
Once you're done doing that,
Sure.
I take it and sort of like do a couple little knife twirls with it to sort of check its balance, and I'm like, and I just sort of give
Shinya's still like leaning away from it. Like,
I sort of give my passive
that shit
observation
hurt.
on it as I slide it to Zhenya to Marlena for the bonus dice.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Did you count your bonus dice?
I did.
She threw them in, yeah.
Okay.
I believe that is 12.
Yeah, like you're not sure about. There's some ritual put on it. You get a sense that this can basically like cut a life short. If you were to put it in your own terms, like you can stab with this like too many times, because basically like cut your thread. It will kill you.
Thread cutters.
It's not your kind of magic that's weaved into it, but the effect is very similar.
Can I trace anything from this to a person who created it?
Yeah, you'd have to. Well, you got that good of a roll. Yeah, there's
the last living person attached to it, maybe.
From the direction of the threads, you can tell that a lot of those people are dead at this point. The connection, Fatima brought up Madre Paloma, and that brings a sense of familiarity to you. You also feel some connection to the Escara, and you piece in your head, like Zhenya described getting stabbed by one of those when she was in that compound that one time. Where somebody got taken prisoner. Evine too was saw that compound.
She came in with me, but I came in as a prisoner.
Yep. Evine talked to the interrogator that was there, that had that knife.
What about the type of weapon? I mean, can we tell anything from that, like country of origin? Like type, because I'm thinking type of magic that's involved.
For you, this is almost certain to be Castilian. Even if you're here and part of this conversation, as a refresher, you remember the lady that you saw that had that knife last time, the interrogator lady, was wearing garments of the church, but from basically like a denomination that was supposed to have been excommunicated. It's like old, almost like, apocryphal shit. But yes, it's
She's over here like it's all powerful.
I was not made aware of this, and I make it my business to be aware of what the church is doing.
Tight.
Mazabi sort of leans in and says, on the plus side, the Inquisitor Aquila has now made a number of new recruits. Because many of them have now been exposed to the gross, rotting underbelly of our brethren and want to do what they can to change it. At that point, like, somebody comes in bringing new refreshments, including bottles of wine, and you realize he's wearing garments of the Inquisition, but the robe is black instead of red. And Mazabi says, yeah, I've tweaked the uniform quite a bit.
Just a little tweak here and there.
When he walks in, before Mazabi says anything, like Jimena has like a and like all the lights in the room get suddenly brighter. And he's like, no. It's like, oh. And then the lights dim again once Mazabi says something.
Somewhere across time and space, Rethold approves of this new aesthetic.
Right?
Somewhere in the distant memory that only he can hear.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Somewhere along the watchtower starts playing. Alright.
Does anybody else hear double kick drums? Is it just me? No? Okay. Got it. Cool.
I don't know. I just hear opera.
Sometimes you make it work.
Fatima says, I think Governor Perez will be here for probably a couple more weeks to help ease people through what they've been through. He is their governor now, maybe for the first time since he took office. And he will need support. I will provide that to him. San Felipe is still the biggest target and is very likely to be taken down first.
Oh yes, let them try.
Over the shattered pieces of my bones.
I have no doubt.
We just want to make sure that Lisso can stand in case they turn on it, because we're going back to San Felipe to prevent exactly that.
I know it is a lot to ask to place your trust in me, but if you're so inclined, leave Lisso to me.
Well, better to not need the help we might give, so that's kind of where we're at anyway.
I will endeavor to make the city safe so you don't have to worry about fighting a battle on multiple fronts. I still have the ear of the Cardinals for now, and I will continue to play the role for a while longer. I'll try to stretch this as long as possible until it is time to spring the trap.
I've already put my trust in you by giving you that seal.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
No need to ask again.
look at that tubby thing. Look at that round floof.
And I trust that Umzabi and Elohim will put you in your place should you try to betray us.
Of that, you can have no doubt.
So mad.
Mazabi just chuckles.
I shrug after a mouthful of whatever. I chug it down. I'm like, that, and if anyone breaks the trust, that just breaks the chain. And we've put a lot of links together after taking out the weak ones. It's basically been putting Odiseo together.
That you have. Maybe for the first time in a very, very long time.
We are leaving some people behind.
Fatima then says, it seems like Odiseo is also going to unite with some other allies. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but I have it under good authority that while you were away, Grande Usha Seraphine has accepted an offer of marriage.
Uh-oh.
I say, gasp.
New alliances are about to be forged.
Oh, no, actually, gasp. What? To who?
Well,
didn't she have a thing for what's his name?
No.
Wasn't there a guy she kept hanging around that wasn't your boyfriend?
it's
Was it Sebastian? No.
No,
well,
she seemed contentedly single.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was, but there was
she
like,
had a suitor in a
was it like some skinny little French dude?
crescent.
Yeah.
Pirate is a strong word.
Privateer.
Traveling entrepreneur.
Oh, a gentleman of fortune. Aha.
Yes.
Nice,
He's
nice.
a merchant king and was the favorite suitor for some time, but she, I suppose, going off script from what people expected. I mean, people already think Odisseo is already tied with the Crescent Empire, so that would have been within the narrative, but she apparently has accepted a proposal from a warrior queen from Mabay. Ifri is getting tied to Odisseo now.
I say again, gasp. Good for them.
So I suppose.
How does that song go, Yvonne? Odyssey and Ivory.
Wow.
Maybe the elephant will put in a good word for us.
Hey!
That's right.
It does seem it.
If Jimena actually says that, Rethel
Yeah.
just fucking spits just like that.
She does.
Surprise twist, the elephant shows up in that battle. Somewhere down the line.
My friend!
Oh, fucking,
She's just
oh.
engaged to the elephant. That's the warrior.
That's right.
Hell yeah, let's
That's
go.
right.
I feel that it
Wasn't
is
its name Ted
part
or
of our
something?
brand now
No,
to
I
actually have
called it
a
Eli.
party and then
Oh,
kill
Eli, there
people
we
at
go.
the party for this marriage.
So I hear.
Oh, okay, left again. Sad.
Yeah, she be like that.
But yes, please apologize to Grande Seraphine when you do see her for me stealing her thunder by revealing that to you early.
Well, we're very good at feigning surprise, as I just did.
It could have fooled me.
I am a master of deception. Just
That was
ask,
a deception, was it not?
just said gasp. You can almost see the air brackets.
Everything's so surprising.
I just tape my eyebrows up so that I always look surprised.
I always look
Just like
surprised.
appears behind you in Japanese, like you're in a manga. Just
Yeah.
gasp.
It's like I shaved off my eyebrows and just painted them in a perpetual arch of surprise.
That's right.
Oh, one of my great aunts had that. They were tattooed on her face.
I was about to say, I just finished those words and I'm like, I'm sure some of you have some images because I've known that person.
Mhm. I never met her in person, but I saw pictures and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, those are tattooed on. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, tattoo eyebrows.
Perpetual surprise.
That's right.
It's just crazy.
But yeah, Fatima then says like you'll have a direct line to me throughout this time. I know Governor Perez will stay here for a little bit, but the reality is before long he will return to San Felipe. For all intents and purposes, it is the center of power in Odisseo. And moving the office here to Lisso was only a move by Esteban to try to break the balance of power. We see how well that worked for him.
He has no idea.
No, not yet.
Keep it that way.
Well, it is not my intent to keep you here longer than you need to be. I just wanted us to make sure we are on the same page. You have convinced me. For better or worse, I am throwing my hat in with yours. We will see where it will take us.
Computing the hat thing.
Right.
Oh yeah, hat takes you places.
Don't worry about it. It's figure of speech.
Just like pet my hat a little bit.
It means
Yeah.
it's just
No,
like,
but like yeah, her eyes go to like Marlena like.
Marlena's
her-
just like, I'll
her-
never throw you away. Like, don't worry.
I'm like, no, her
Don't
clothes
listen
do
to them.
things.
Don't
no,
listen
it's
to
not
them.
not a real hat.
A fake hat will take you places.
It's a ghost hat.
It goes out.
Ghost. Does it have an eye?
One eye.
It's back.
Spirit hat.
It's a magic.
Humana gave up.
No, it's fairy hat, so you can make a deal with it.
Oh,
a
okay.
Fairy
protector.
hats, ghost hats,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
comfort hats.
That's fair.
Instead
I mean,
of punching
in-
it back into the underworld.
In true Gaelic fashion, if there was a fairy hat, that's what it would be called. Fairy hat.
Yeah,
Hello, I am fairy hat.
I'm
Done.
hat she.
Catchy.
You've already met cat she. I'm
Yeah.
hat she.
I'm a Catchy's brother.
Oh.
Catchy.
I'm the cousin. Sometimes we pair up together and then kill people out of cuteness.
A tip of myself to you.
Hashtag just a tip.
Hey! Yeah!
God damn it, Rabbit.
Timing!
So hey, love, can I?
I've been upsetting people with making these nuts jokes on Instagram when they thought I'd be on the side of culture.
Oh,
That's
no.
right.
You are.
That's right.
By making
Resurrect-
these nuts jokes, like,
Yeah,
obviously.
you don't know. Like they don't know what kind of culture you mean.
That's right.
Right.
Resurrect
It's
the
a
90s.
culture.
Like a culture
So good.
necromancer.
So good.
Yeah. I kind of want to poach Angel for La Duchessa. I guess I should talk to Andrew about that.
You want to poach who?
Angel.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing about my businesses is always that they're both tailors and spy networks.
Yeah.
It's always been a thing.
You need an
Like the
extra
tailor?
spy. Right? Yeah, you need to talk to her a little bit about that.
Okay.
But we can make that happen if nobody else has anything to discuss. Food is had. The knife is left with you if you want to take it. If nobody wants to take it,
Jimena is intrigued, like I said.
Yeah, you take it.
right?
Experiments.
You you get it like wrapped around with like a shroud. Almost looks like a fucking religious shroud, like that's just like wrapped around it. Like you need physical protection from it, and then Jesus protection as well.
Just wrap the rosary around it too.
Yeah, you get it handed to you in a little bundle and says, "There's more around, I'm sure."
Somewhere.
If I can reverse engineer it, then we'll know how to.
Yep,
Not that Jimena actually knows how to do that, but she was like, I can figure it out.
you can stumble your way into it, like all proper scientific discoveries.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want it buried in my site again.
Right? It was an experience.
I'm not gonna help you test it out.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't trust it that much. Things that can cut threads. No good.
Please don't stab me.
I mentioned the rebranding to be like, yeah, those old the prophet swords who are dumb shits, basically being coming up with a colloquialism of like the baffled blade for them, something to that effect. So along with their cool new goth duds, to help people maintain faith in the faith, and that there are members of the church who can be relied on.
At least Mazabidek is more than happy to have that philosophical discussion with you, and that's one of those times where he does get serious about his craft. And basically the way he describes it to you is religion in much of Thea is power, and those who speak for it wield much power. The Inquisition, as it currently stands, has become a tool to get people in line. But what is escaping them is that the populace is not who needs policing. It's us. We're the problem.
He finds someone who is woefully uninterested in these nuances. He's just someone who's concerned with making sure the right people are upset at.
Right.
Which aligns, but yeah, it must be. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not the one. Rethel's not the one to have that conversation.
Oh, right.
Sure.
I'm gonna be seeing Angel too, because obviously he needs to be asked. So I can also make that conversation happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we need to try and make sure that we maintain overland and oversea communication between Lisso and San Felipe and any other points of interest in Odiseo.
Mm-hmm.
So thought.
Yeah.
I have a business here and I have one over there. They can just be part of the communications can be sent through as
Through yours, through mine, through guild,
Yep.
through official
multiple ways.
government channels. And we should keep them constantly in contact so that if any of them hiccup, we know where to react to.
And I have Nightingale, so yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
A built-in fucking spy service, which is
I know pirates.
Yeah, you do.
exactly.
You do, and there may be more showing up shortly.
Yeah, apparently.
Jorge is going to the fucking island prison to talk
That's right,
with
because he can turn into a horse too.
Allende. The
Well, he can
pirate
turn
king.
into a horse.
No, he can't.
Oh. Well, he just has the magical beard that appeared suddenly.
No, I think the conversation was someone was like, he was hung like a horse or something, and then Jenny goes, "Oh, he can turn into a horse."
Right.
No.
No.
Oh my.
No, I must go talk to him about
Just
this. It's very
parts of them,
Just.
like some
And only in a certain state.
like some unholy abomination.
What?
Speaking of unholy abominations,
Uh-oh.
Oops.
I've tried to use like those like AI painting
Oh god.
things and I was like, let me try to ask it to draw a sneaky centaur.
No.
These things don't know how to
no.
draw a centaur.
Did you
Try
save
it
any of
sometimes.
that?
The abomination that comes out, I'm like, how many limbs does this thing has? Like, this is a full person grafted to a horse?
Yes.
It's yeah, it doesn't know what to do with that.
That's beautiful.
All right, so what's your timeline for leaving Lisso at this point?
As soon as the ship is docked.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, because Jimena's got labs all over the place now,
Yep.
so.
let's send those messages out to make sure that those lines of communications are running. We'll send a note to the governor's office saying, we love you, we'll miss you, sorry we didn't kiss you goodbye. And
I'm actually gonna go and talk to you about the though.
Yeah.
you're actually gonna
Oh,
head
Yeah,
out?
because she needs to poach his person.
For
That's the whole point, is
Are we
figuring out your
trying-
timeline and then what actions you need to take before.
Are we dragging Isak along, or are we?
That's Jimena has to have that discussion because he was originally trying to go to San Felipe.
Oh
to
well,
begin
shit,
with,
yeah.
because that's where his lady love is.
I mean, he's got an eye patch now. He's cool. He can roll.
I mean,
he can
assuming
sit
that
with
that's
us.
what he's still interested in.
Yeah.
He's got an eye patch.
I'm trying to think if there's
He can sit with us
anybody
now.
else I care about enough to
Right?
do things with.
Well, there's a few of those threads, right? Nightingales are taken care of. There's Hector's and the remaining
Oh,
Escaras
good.
that want to get
Yes.
out.
But Hector wants to leave too.
Well, he'll follow.
Sweet.
Oh, God damn it.
If they want to go, he'll go with them.
Oh, there should be a date or something posted for any prophet sword or sun
Winter Sun.
winter sun who
Mhm.
want to defect. that
Okay.
they can
Some
Yeah, to
questions
try and-
asked.
just after an interview
Hmm.
/ interrogation.
I
you know.
mean,
we've
One
had it
of them-
happen a few times, and
one of them became a convert and now worships at the altar of Rethold and is now the
Well, that was a pet
captain
project.
of the guard in
right.
San Felipe. So
so that's a Jose.
I mean, you can totally look at the ads be like career advancement.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely, yeah.
you need a dramatic picture of Jose.
He's like,
Jose
don't
the
know.
son.
he's on a horse, and it's like horses rearing.
Yeah, just pointing.
See where he's pointing? That's how far you can go.
The horse is also a Jose.
There's no TV ad, so there's an actual performer by the posters that just recite the feed the lines to you when you come by. Some
Jose
buskers
Caballo.
doing the inspirational music. Like those army recruitment ads.
Oh yeah. Even worse.
Want to push your limits?
Okay.
No,
All right.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. I'm comfortable with them. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna bring Hector and the Escaras,
The ones who want to leave.
the
Yeah.
Nightingales that want to come by. will
Didn't
also be
you
with
that
them.
I think our fate witches have names, or did we not come up with that?
They did. I'm not sure I have them in front of me right now.
Yeah. That's fine. Possible fate
Yep.
witch number one.
Amelia and Ludovica.
Oh.
They're sisters.
Weren't they twins?
Well, they could be both.
Yeah, I don't think they're twins. They
Okay.
look alike. Like they're definitely looking related, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're not twins.
My
Um,
brain saw the twins from Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Oh man, really? I had to think for one which ones. Oh no.
Yeah.
Sold.
You're like, yeah, these ones. All right, so you go to see Landreville. Things have
Yes.
stabilized a little bit. Doesn't seem less busy, just less chaotic.
I'll bring Aurelia with me too, since I have.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Well, I might as well get all the talking done in one place.
Mm-hmm. You brought who with you, Aurelia?
Uh huh.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, if I sent ahead, so I would have asked Landreville about meeting, but also that I
Yeah, they're
wanted
back.
how to be present as well.
They're back at the governor's mansion, and just like the previous time, right? Like there's always a line at the door at this point, and you always get waved through to the annoyance of everybody else who has to wait.
And then we all put one of these.
Get bent, suckers.
Yep. So.
I just smile and wave, be that jerk.
Yep.
When you,
Fucking.
when you do as much as we have for this government,
Right?
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
you don't know who I am because I'm good at my job. Isn't that right, Evie?
Yep.
You know who some of us are because we're very good at our jobs.
Yeah, you basically get brought into the main office area and get offered a chair and one for Aurelia. There's people coming and going like constantly. Like they're basically like organizing. They're basically trying to reorganize government after the town almost fucking exploded. So there's a lot happening, but a lot of it is sort of funnels that aside a little bit and says, Governor Perez extends his apologies for not being able to be here. He is busy.
Of course.
Actually taking an active role in government.
That is good to hear.
Like, the governor's busy doing his job, so,
Right.
like, he can't be here right now.
To the surprise of everyone in Lisso at this point, but yes.
But yes, I actually wanted to speak with you, not so much the governor.
Oh, well, then in that case, please.
Yes.
Great, I'm here.
Right?
As you may know, myself and my companions, we are gearing to leave the city and return to San Felipe. But we do not want to leave without also having trusted people left behind in the things that we have built up here.
Well, on my behalf and that of Governor Perez, I very much thank you for the foresight.
Well, thank you in return. Actually, I wanted to speak about Angel. I was very pleased with working with him when you recommended his service, and I would very much like to hire him on to help run La Duchessa. Aurelia here will also be taking over business there. As you may suspect, it is both a tailor shop and not. I believe Angel's strengths will be much needed there. If, of course, you agree and he agrees.
Well, since he works for me, I'm not sure he has a choice. No, I believe Angel will be delighted to continue this partnership.
Excellent.
And this is a very worthwhile assignment. I would be happy to lend him to those efforts. That's the least we can do.
They would like to continue communication between Lisso and San Felipe, and one of the ways we will do so is through my business.
And that seems like a proper way to conduct things. I think for the time being, we will try to restore the city to some sense of normalcy. And I think not having such an overt militaristic bent in the immediate will be good for the people.
Thanks.
No, I would be delighted to have Angel act as liaison.
I was hoping that he was here, so at least he and Aurelia could start to talk about things.
You can make that happen. And he sort of pulls somebody aside and whispers a few words, sends the person away. It does take a few minutes, but before long, Angel is brought into the room, and
So I do the introductions. I kind of like give in it very broad strokes what I'm interested in doing here. I mean, on the front, La Duchessa is basically like a branch store of Inducha back in San Felipe. Though I would say, just because of how I introduced this whole business, that it's probably more upscale, like haute couture type stuff.
Yep.
As opposed to El Duce is more like, more of a general sort of thing. We definitely do like clergy outfits. We do all sorts of stuff. But
Well,
here specifically, like in the artist quarter, it's like upper scale.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you made that splash in the artisans' quarter when you went to kill one of the people on the blacklist. So you definitely.
And Aurelia already knows the scene there, so that helps.
Yep, that was her job. That's
Yeah.
where she operated too. She knows a lot of the major players, and they know her.
But we also need somebody there who's going to be keeping an eye on who's coming and going.
She was basically the face of that business regardless, so
Yeah.
that's basically at this point she just changed patrons.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angel and Aurelia get acquainted and introduced. He seems to know at least of her already, more than she knows him.
So as I'm sitting there, do I feel that they have something of a rapport? Do
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, no,
Okay.
they seem to be
mean,
hitting it off.
I could probably massage that, but I'd rather it be real. I mean, I
no,
probably
it
could,
seems-
but
It seems like they won't have any trouble, and Anahel is more than happy to support that
Great.
venture. Olivia sort of leans in and says, "Anything else we can do before you depart?"
Oh, yes.
Carlos and I will be returning to San Felipe before long, but as you know,
We do have one other request. So, on the business of Madre Paloma's untimely demise, we wanted some help to spread, well, to put a certain group of prophet swords in the crosshairs as far as who to blame. I kind of explained the whole thing. There's like there are these like there's a prophet sword that didn't actually, change allegiance that, kind of need to be labeled as such in some fashion, and using various propaganda and just, things like that to
yeah, I believe the public opinion is already starting to lean that way, and I would suspect your team started to put some work into that. We're more than happy to support
Yes.
that narrative, and
We would like to continue that in the possibility of rooting out the last of whatever opposition there can be here among those elements.
yeah, leave that to us. Inquisitor Mazabi has also offered his assistance in rooting out the last of these upstarts.
Yes, with the
As of now,
increases to a kilo.
he sort of nods and says yes. Although the name will remain unspoken for the time being.
That is fair.
Until Mazabi deems it right. This is still
I can teach you a song.
unsanctioned.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I'm just like used to Yvain's voice suddenly appearing in
Yep.
places. So it's
Yep.
like, okay.
Even is at that meeting with you.
I
Suddenly.
always do that. It's fine.
But yes, that is correct. He is the senior inquisitor in Lisso at this point, and therefore anyone not falling in line is anathema to this particular chapter.
Is that supposed to be short for captain?
CBT, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it just said cat.
Yeah.
I was like, why is the cat?
Position cat.
Cat. Shameless flirt. Jokes. It's like, oh,
Cats are kind of.
it's a P, not an A.
Sorry, yeah.
All right.
So yes,
Carpenter's name is
I don't really have
Jesus.
anything else for him. Thank you very much for
Jesus,
hearing my request.
Damn it,
To start
Tony.
look at
with,
his quirk.
even though we are not going to be here, we will definitely be here in
I
spirit.
almost
and
made the
city will
purser
feel it, I'm
Judas,
sure.
but decided that was a little too much.
A little too on the head.
Well,
Jesus doesn't exist in this world. It's
I
fine.
hope you realize how thankful the city is. We have much ahead of us, but
Change is never a quick thing. The start may be, but the rest.
or a painless thing, but that's quite all right. We will make it through.
Nothing good is done without effort.
With that, I believe I must get back to my other tasks.
Of course,
but
you have a very long line of people out there as usual.
when we return to San Felipe, be sure to tell your group they have a standing appointment with us to share a drink.
Of course.
And he stands up and sort of nods to Angel and to Aurelia, and sort of tells her, like, you're welcome to stay if you'd like. I can introduce you to a few more of our folks.
Yeah,
We can establish.
Might as well start building those connections now.
She does nod, but she sort of steps up to you before you leave, and she says, thank you for the opportunity. You could have killed me when you had the chance. I'm grateful.
It's true, but I never killed without reason.
She nods and says, well, I will do my best to represent your interests here in the way that they should be.
Also, I'm pretty sure anyway that Alexander would not mind you continuing to use the room in the Scar's house.
Well, I would appreciate that.
We don't call them that anymore.
But that's their word.
That's a dead name.
Sure. Okay, so I say the Nightingale's house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she
The Nightingale's
turns
roost.
heel and starts to get into the particulars with Angel and with the rest of the staff. Back at the house, while you're cleaning up, Jimena, a contingent of crows come and deposit a rested and bandaged Isak at the front door.
Oh,
Um, half of his face is still like covered in bandages, and he's cut and bruised everywhere, but otherwise is looking all right.
I do the guy from Big Trouble in Little China who like leans out of the doorway with like a turkey leg, right? And I'm like,
doing good.
hope you can trade that eye for a sea legs, because we're about to leave.
Well, he cuts himself off, like saying my family, like he stops and says, Duke Serrano has no objection with me traveling now.
Damn.
Duke Serrano's his dad?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
An actual Duke? Oh, shit.
We found him!
The
They were
entire time.
I'm like,
I mean, Jess, I suppose you want to go see your...
Isak's dad rolls up onto the front grass and throws a smoke bomb and goes like this and then disappears. Forever.
wait, their name's Pepper?
Serrano? Uh-huh.
Yeah? Nice.
He's spicy.
Well, he certainly is now.
It's caliente.
Like we are going back to San Felipe. I suppose you might want to come with us because, you know, you can see your
Beloved.
lady.
I continue this impossible lean out of this doorway.
Right.
It's like defying gravity.
He's got the Michael Jackson shoes.
Yeah, just
that have the hooks and the heels.
Yeah.
Fret all the smooth criminal.
I will witness your telenovela moment.
We would
for
be
it.
glad to take you with us.
Well, that
No eye contact made.
right.
Fierce eye contact.
Gretel somehow is making eye contact with both of you, even though you're looking in different directions. He somehow succeeds. Isak says, well, that makes the next part of this conversation much easier because I was about to ask if you were going back to San Felipe. I have someone I need to see there.
Jason, no. Get your things together. You can come with us.
Just like, don't remind me.
in her head, she's like, he needs to see her to tell her that he can't be with her anymore because he wants to be with Jimena now, even though she already has Sebastian back in San Felipe. And then Jorge is going to show up.
I've seen
She's
this
going to
anime.
have a no, don't
Right.
fight.
It's
Like-
And or novella.
it's Liberty, Lies, and Libations, the novella, getting written live in Jimena's head.
Oh,
Yep.
Just watch out for
Constantly.
the captain. She'll try
Right.
and make a man out of you.
At that moment, the door flings open, and it's Isak's evil twin rolling in.
I'm here.
It zooms onto Rethold's face as he's eating his...
Voiceover Rethel. Maybe he won't be a wimp.
How dare you!
He's already got a goatee.
How dare you?
That's right, because he's able to cut out the little
He must-
triangle.
How
there.
dare you!
That's Soul Patch, though.
But I didn't say anything out loud. It was the inside voice.
It doesn't matter.
How did
Jimena
you?
heard you.
Her drama radar.
Yeah, she knows.
Right? Someone is throwing shade in this house.
There's chisme somewhere.
And after a moment, I shrug and I go, I guess I don't need to use... I can use my outside voice then.
And this is where Zhenya calls Veronica to come sit with her in a very... Your captain is telling you to have a seat.
Yeah, this is tense.
So Isaac needs to get off his ass and get
Yeah.
downstairs and hobble his ass downstairs and get his shit together.
Yep.
Isaac goes and follows. Like when you roll around, he sort of
Still just chill, like the whole way till he's down this stair and for a beat afterwards.
It's just you don't see Rethold walk. Like you just see him like
Slide.
sort of
Yeah.
float lean when it's like.
Just completely horizontal. Just...
And then as soon as Isaac is out of eyesight, it just like on a track back into the.
Yep. It just he's leaning out the doorway and he's like.
And meanwhile, Jimena just longingly staring in the direction, and you can see the like telenovela playing.
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Magnus is in the back, like cranking the wheel, like bringing
Yeah.
back.
Waving the like thunder paper.
Pulling that-
Pulling him on the rope.
doing all the theater fucking.
And then like throws a splash of water. That
Yeah.
wasn't part of it. Oh, sorry.
Like, not yet.
I was in the mood.
It's not your cue.
You should have come to repetition.
You're ruining it.
Your timing's off.
We rehearsed this yesterday. I knew you weren't paying attention. Tells Jenny to shave you.
Yeah, Veronica sits at the table, and I mean, there's her chair, and there's the back of her chair, right? And then there's her back, right? Like she's just like she's seated very upright.
Kasha and I are going back to San Felipe. Do you wish to stay and take care of this home? Or do you wish to return with us?
There's a genuine look of conflict.
Sorry,
on
there's
her
a
face.
universe where Rethold leans out behind behind Jenny and it's like, you're coming. It's for the podcast. You're coming with us, and you're gonna be a pirate. And like I hold a hand, like somehow
One
the
hook.
hand, like the mutton, and then the hand is like coming with us.
And then
but
Magnus
still the
comes
lean,
around.
like
In my head, like that was like the stairs, and like he sort of like float leaning, and then this scene happens, and you see him like come in the background from the other piece, like still in the same pose. But then he sees this scene is happening, so he stops.
Oh,
Found a new thing to focus on.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a genuine look of conflict on her face, like kind of like I got a choice. I can
What
stay
is
here.
choice?
I can be, on my own house, and like there's a whole like you can almost feel the gears turning. She's making like a
pro and con.
pro and con board in her head,
Yeah.
but finally,
Sorry.
that's happening in real time.
Sorry.
This Red Gold like sucking the fucking turkey juice.
Oh, yeah,
Just like-
crack the
Trying
top
to get
of
the
the
marrow
bone.
out.
You're having
Yeah.
a heart-to-heart with your sister. It's like,
Oh my god.
ah, it's in my beard.
Sorry, it's we're not gonna eat this good on the ship. So
The shutter from the kitchen slammed shut in
How's
your
that?
face.
you hear two sets of laughing
Like,
because it's me and Magnus.
it shuts and then you hear like.
And then you hear the Domovoy chuckle.
Yeah,
Because he thinks it's funny
yeah,
too.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she finally says,
Or it could be a crow.
as
That's
much
what I'm offering her.
Oh yeah. Okay.
as much as I appreciate you trusting me with owning your home,
Didn't say that.
She has kind of like, I guess it's my home. I mean, I paid for it, but
Yes.
whatever.
hey, you put
It's
you
not
put,
how I see it, but
you
yeah.
put a fucking
got a cat in a
grandfather
box.
spirit in here. Like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
your home. It's your second home.
Yeah.
I feel I'm not done pulling the thread we've started since you had to follow me about all over the world.
Okay.
But it's the first time you're giving me that choice, and that makes
And
me
just stone faced.
happy.
Good. Go pack.
Will do. And she gets up, like she just had a fucking conversation with her superior officer, and goes up to her room to pack.
And then outside, like, flowers bloom everywhere.
Aw.
Because she's the happiest son of a bitch ever.
Aww.
Yeah, she made the right choice.
Yeah.
You hear two sets of sneezing.
You also get like a aw from the kitchen as Ricardo is like eating like pieces of apple and just like looking at this whole scene. It's like, well, I try not to cramp your style, but that was adorable.
You hear the clattering of dishes and finished meals, and then the tornado of Magnus and Rethold banging through the house out the door. And I was like, "We're going, Tide. Let's go! Chop, chop, chop!"
I'm ready.
Yeah, and like,
Magnus has his pack on the back, and like the pack is putting his headdress, so like
Yeah.
there's the antlers
yeah.
behind his head.
Zhenya is positively glowing. Let's fucking go.
Ricardo is like, well, I'm glad you gave her the choice, but I hope you know she's not done with that story either.
I
There's
know.
still a thing out there, and I think she wants to kill it as much as you do.
She can try to want to kill it as much as I do.
I'm not saying she's gonna succeed.
That's fair.
It's just a matter of wanting it.
Yeah. But it's okay because she's coming with us.
You get like a ruffle in your hair, right? Like you're just like, yes, I know.
Tide.
Oh, come down!
No, it's like they're playing penis, but it's
Oh.
the two of them shouting "Tide" louder and louder as
Yep.
they're walking down
Mm-hmm.
the path.
Magnus is just like bellowing.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I've got
Jimena and Isaac come up out of the basement with like a steamer trunk on a cart. And you're like, did she always
No.
have
Right.
that? Nope. But
Yeah.
that's where all her lab shit is.
It is now.
No one asks where
Just
she
on,
gets anything.
It's hers
Yeah,
now,
It's just
yeah.
all dresses and things.
Yep. It's
And
all,
nerd dresses.
it's all your fucking living pieces of clothing.
Like,
No,
how'd they
I've
get
only
that up
got
the stairs?
one right now.
Wow.
That poor boy.
Maybe the shawl, though.
boy's
I'm not sure if the shawl is alive
Nah,
or
she's
not.
fucking bed knobs and broomsticks. They'll just march out on their own.
Yeah. You see like a haunted ass pair of pants like coming down the stairs on its own.
Get us figure this out a bit.
You know, I do, however, need to make Jenya a proper outfit that speaks to her.
Yeah.
Something or other locomotion.
I
Something,
mean,
it's
something
gonna have
that will
pants.
not,
I need my dress blues.
Exactly.
something that will not make her feel like she's overdressed and unable to move.
Well,
and-
just make some Class Bs from the Asuran army for her, and she'll probably feel real comfort in that.
Make her like a badass fucking uniform.
Yeah.
Mike, you forget like Usuran people, like even Usuran men still basically wear dresses.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just shorter tunics.
Basically.
She just wants her pants. Her pants and her boots. Stupid little clippy heels. Everyone can hear you coming. As everyone leaves, the last thing Jinya does is she refills the Domovoy's cup and gives him an extra dose of blood from her hand and goes, well, everyone left here is still your family. I hope you will still continue to watch them for me.
Yeah, you get a of course. How much time has passed? I can never tell.
2 weeks.
You get like a sneeze. And like, your people will be protected for generations.
I will come back to visit.
I hope. Um,
And you see a little wooden eyeball next to the cup.
in the cup. Floating.
No, don't drink that.
Floating in glitters, bobbing up and down.
Stop to give that back.
I imagine the Domo Boy finds that hilarious.
He's like, oh, I thought that was a crouton.
So Aurelia staying
Don't say anything,
here.
everyone will want one.
Hector and his crew are coming along. Isaac is coming along.
There are flowers in the
What
garden
of-
that no one has ever seen
Wait,
before.
who's his crew? Just like the people he was training.
Yeah, well, the emotionally damaged
Do you need a
people.
spoon?
Actually, that might be it.
What does Genia do
Oh.
with Olivia?
Oh, Olivia, right.
Oh, that's right. Well, she's part of the Nightingale situation. Like, she has the same,
You
like,
gonna leave her in charge of that
You-
crew?
yeah, you can stay here and lead them,
Okay.
as I know you can, or you can come with me.
Yeah, she'll. I think she would elect, if you give her that choice, to stay behind and basically be your representative with that crew.
I'm gonna.
You don't have any other people, right?
No, all my people are accounted for, I think. I'm gonna use Genia's touch,
Yep.
and I'm going to queef to
Queef?
Bequeath?
queef with a
Bequeath.
ch.
Gesundheit.
Oh my!
Goodness, madam.
I'm gonna gift her.
Yes.
God damn it!
Magnus is like, don't address it. It's impolite. Just pretend you didn't hear anything.
No. I'm gonna mute you again.
Just text me.
I'm going to
You can't say something nice
bestow
if you're next to
upon
me.
her.
Yep.
Make sure it's the right one. God damn it! I hate all of you.
That makes it funnier.
Together we are strong.
Yep.
Gesundheit.
Sorry.
So there we go.
What happened?
Something shifted.
So she's gonna feel the empowerment of leadership,
Yeah.
and knows that when she's together with her sisters, there's nothing they can't do together.
Awesome. Done and done. So with that, final preparations are made. The blatant goal is ready to set sail. So is La Belle and Blanc, which they seem pretty eager also to take to the sea.
Yeah, I bet.
Rethold and Magnus, respectively, are the signal that we're casting off in moments.
Yep. You are informed, Rethold, that a piece of the Cerneth artifact is traveling on each ship. So they basically broke the totem in two and basically were like, yeah, these pieces shouldn't come together. Let's just have them travel on separate ships.
Oh, so there's a piece in each hold?
Yeah.
There's one in the bell and there's one in the goal?
That's right.
Alright.
And you get a handshake when you arrive from the girl you saw earlier, your guild contact, that says, the guild and myself are looking forward to your continued business venture, Mr. Juan Mendez.
I chuckle and I'm like, I also like how you're saving money by having me ship my own pieces instead of putting them on guild ships.
Ah, well,
I appreciate that.
we thought with such a precious article, you may want to broker the sale yourself.
Fair enough. I'll save my hand the cramp of writing those letters next time.
Yeah, she sort of nods and steps away as people board, finish unmooring the ships, and before long, both ships are pulling off of the docks away from Lisso and towards your home in San Felipe.
So now we have to be without land.
I look longingly off to the east, and anyone standing next to me hears, oh fuck! I remember her name just 5 seconds ago. Hold on. No.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, it's gonna ruin the joke.
Well, we can't help you there.
Madre Paloma?
Tony's pressures.
No.
Olivia?
The people who run the house are Xavier and Margaret? Augustina. Yeah. Fuck. Rethel mutters to himself Augustina's wow, I really fucked this up. Because in my brain it was perfect, and it was like, yeah.
It's gone now. It's dead.
It's like Augustina's tamales doesn't sound quite as great as oh fuck.
It's too late. It's just let it die, Tony.
Enchiladas? No. Was it tamales? I think it was tamales. Yeah. So it's dead. It's gone. We've murdered it.
Yeah, so Rethel just starts
I'm gonna bury it.
rattling out the name of every Castilian food he can think of. Like, for some reason, we're just like, what's going on?
It turns into a game of charades, and they're like, pita. No, it's wrapped. It's a handheld.
It's an empanada.
Yeah. No, it's not an empanada. It's like an empanada, but it's not.
It's not a tuma.
It's not an empatuma.
Empatuma.
Oh dear.
As you pull off the dock, you leave your home of the past month and a half or so,
Even
Even
his tongue.
as you look at the port, you see among the moorings and basket a black cat lazily lounging near a coiled piece of rope, and then sort of looks with much interest at the boat leaving. Also appreciate the picture you dropped into the chat. Yes, this is 100% what the yard would look like here shortly.
What is that black cat on top of the step? I recognize everything else.
This is
What the fuck is that?
that one is 100% the cat that
that she started
that
dealing
she was talking to. That's
The
that's
official Wikipedia
Yeah.
picture.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Yeah.
the cat she picture right from the Wikipedia page
That's-
that I.
That's charming.
Did you see Jen's picture of Hierophant?
These are cats from my nightmares.
I wouldn't have made a deal with that cat.
Snarf is here.
I wouldn't have made a deal with a lot of these cats. A lot of these cats are assholes. And not just
I know.
normal-
What
Hello
face is
Kitty.
Artemis making?
All right, good crew. With that, we take to the seas. Next
Wow.
time,
Well,
return
there
to
won't
San
be any-
Felipe
Won't be any weird sirens.
to
on the way.
see in what state your
Unless they
affairs
come to say
are
hi.
after a month away.
So we started the kill list June 6, 2021. And now it is September 11, 2022.
Shit, that was over a year.
Well, there is a big gap because we lost sessions last month.
Still, calendar year. This is like a year and
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah, and we alternate.
Yeah. And then I was gone for a month. It was a hard harvest this year,
Right?
but we made it.
So do we get do we have
XP or hero points?
Yes. Get 3 XP.
all 4 hero points? Was there an or?
Or a hero one.
Okay.
I'd prefer a hero
I
point.
believe that's the exchange rate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta come up with some bullshit to give these ships before we get into combat.
That's right. And we get some actual fighting.
Backgrounds.
Once again, I will not be here for the next 7th sea.
Oh, alright.
Because we'll be in DC.
Ah,
What's happening in DC?
We're just going on vacation.
Oh, cool.
nice.
Because for Christmas last year, and I'm sure this was my mother's idea because she felt the need to announce it.
Say goodnight, Internet.
Good night.
But